In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing for me?
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame. Gone are the days of Pons and Cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
Hello and welcome to the show, everyone. I am still recovering from a cold I had 2 weeks ago, so I'll be coughing and sneezing the whole night. But this is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things. It's called Best Gen because we all happen to be from the same, we're roughly from the same generation, and we happen to think that it's the best one, not because, we're better than you, but because our movies were. So strap on in and prepare to wax nostalgia because we talk about our better movies and how the movies that are not better are now. How did I do?
Yep. Nailed it.
Did I do it right? Anyway, we should have a couple more people joining the stream, but we're running a little bit late today. I've had family in town. I've been super busy, and no, I haven't finished the next Devoid of Logic. I'm working on two of them simultaneously, so we've got a lot to talk about tonight. We've got the Wheel of Time season 2, yay! And I think some people are still watching Ahsoka. I'm not, but we'll talk about it for a little bit. And oh gosh. I watched One Piece, or I started it. I'll talk about that too. Yeah. So before my Wheel of Time boys, my homies, my cousin, who knows more about the Wheel of Time, joins. Let's start with Ahsoka, or maybe the news. Hold up. Shout out to everyone watching. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's a lot of fun. Nerdporial just became a member. Woo! You can become a member too for just 99 cents a month, and you get access to some emojis. That's about it. But it's fun. They're fun emojis, and if I get more people, I can make more emojis.
And we think you're special. That's probably worth the 99 cents there by itself.
Yep. Yeah, well, I think you're special. If you want to support me, if you want to help me make Devoid of Logic videos faster, become a channel member so that my wife can quit her job and I can just focus on videos, basically. That's it.
That's the dream.
Nerdporial, thanks for the $2 to watch your Golden Girls Wheel of Time parody. We'll pull it up when we start talking about Wheel of Time, which we're not starting with. So thanks for joining. Oh, goodness. There's like 30 new... while I was looking at those ones...
Yeah, Nerdporial
sound very melodic. Yeah, because my voice still hasn't come back. 2 weeks ago, it was probably COVID. I don't know. Ever since I got the cold, I've had a weird popping in my ear. I can't pop my ears all the way, and every time I blow my nose, my left ear pops out. I feel like the eardrum and I'm like, I just blew my brains out I don't know what that was.
I heard that's one of the symptoms of the new strain going around.
Is it? Okay, I got COVID then, I guess.
No,
I don't know.
I'm just making stuff up. Very well could be, though.
Nerdporial, I'm with you there. It hasn't watched episode 3 of Ahsoka yet. I couldn't even bring myself to watch episode 2, and they dropped at the exact same time. Saw the first one, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Especially with Wheel of Time. Like, I can only watch one crappy thing.
I don't blame.
I may go back and watch it later
to
to keep doing devoid of logic videos, but I can't do it right now.
Yep.
Let's talk about some news, and then we'll do Ahsoka. Because we haven't done news in like 4 weeks.
Yeah, we ran out of time. We just kept talking.
That's so unlike us. Or you
I
guys
know, right?
haven't been here like 4 weeks.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Well, also
everything
they
just went
keep
blank.
dropping all these shows at the same time, multiple episodes, so it's tough.
It's weird. There was a time when I was able to keep up on like 16 shows at the same time. Like I was keeping up on CW verse and everything all the time, no problem. And now I'm like, why do I not anymore? How can I? Why? Where? What? Yeah.
Yeah. If you want more good Wheel of Time, if you're suffering like us, if you want more good Wheel of Time content, check out The Prophet of the Dragon, check out Nerdporial Lifeform and the White Cloaks channel, Man and Munatherin. They're great. We'll get them to come on this show while the show's running. I couldn't focus this week on getting guests, and also they're probably busy with their own channels because the Wheel of Time, everybody. But yeah, we'll get them to come on. I've just been sick and busy and had family over. So, news. Are you guys excited for Rebel Moon?
I actually still need to check out the trailer on that. I saw that it came through, but I'm behind on a bunch of my other like entertainment related things.
Mark Clark's in the chat. Mark Clark's our wonderful channel member. Jared's throwing rocks already. I don't know what.
Since I'm not a member because I'm a slacker and cheap.
You're throwing the hash code for rocks, the one that pops up in our streaming service.
Exactly.
Okay, I see what's going on. This guys, I'm not a Zack Snyder simp. Okay, but I like a couple of his movies. I really liked Zack Snyder's Justice League. I thought it fixed all of the problems that I had with the first one.
Yeah.
Rebel Moon looks so good. This is
Am I mixing up? Is he the one with Rebel Moon, or is that? I thought that was Gareth. Which one's the one that Gareth Edwards is doing? The person that did Rogue One. Oh, he's doing the creator. Never mind.
I don't care. Zack Snyder's doing Rebel Moon.
Okay. For some reason, I thought it was someone else. So
this is one of his alien creatures. Looks fantastic on an $80 million budget.
Wow.
By the way, and the Flash is $300 million, and it looked like garbage. So
yeah.
I suppose there is something to the idea that it's easier to, buy into an alien creature in CGI than a human because of Uncanny Valley stuff going on. But yeah.
The moment I joined the text verse, I swear my hair is regrowing on my head. Yeah, that's true. That's one of the benefits of being a channel member. Mark Clark liked your Golden Girls video. We'll pull it up. Okay. I don't know. I'm just super excited for Rebel Moon. It looks like it's just going to be a lot of fun, and it looks far more entertaining than anything Star Wars right now. So, David, you sent me this one, right? Neil Gaiman almost prevented Terry Pratchett's unfinished work from being steamrolled, but then he decided to do it himself.
Yeah.
That's shut up. Neil Gaiman's
I thought we weren't doing bad takes, just news.
No, this is news. Because everyone was asking me, hey, because I talked about how they threw out to Terry Pratchett's script for season 2, and everyone's like, "Where's the source on that?" Turns out the source is because at first they weren't mentioning it. You had to read between the lines, and we knew that Terry Pratchett wrote a book, like started a book 2, and he didn't write it, but he plotted it out. So he had the plot and the arcs and stuff, and it was supposed to be about the second coming, and they didn't do that in season 2. So that means they threw it out, and now Screen Rant is the one saying it.
Yep.
Season 3 is going to adapt the book that they tossed out for season 2.
The book plan, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if anyone was wondering what the source on that one, I have an official source now.
And what I meant by the bad take was
official. If you call Screen Rant, it's official.
Yeah. And what I meant with the bad take was that the previous article on Neil Gaiman almost saving his thing sounded like a bad take to me.
Yeah, we just have so many bad takes. I needed some of them to be news.
News, yep.
But David Tennant pushed back against claims that Good Omens mocks religion, because people are saying that it mocks religion. Hey, look, I'm with you on season 1. Season 1 is playful, but God is literally the villain of season 2.
Yeah.
So shut up. Oh, they're pissing all over Terry Pratchett's grave. Did you guys see the Rick and Morty's back, or will be back soon, and it's going to be better than ever now that they fired the co-creator Justin Roiland for being acquitted of all charges?
Yep.
What was he acquitted? Oof.
Of everything.
Of everything. That doesn't look good. Yeah.
He also lost his other show where he is the sole creator, the Polar Opposites. Anyway, stupid stuff. Great news. Walt Disney had to report legally, for legal reasons, another 300,000 subscriber loss. Screw you, Disney.
I find it funny that it says Canada Pundit declares streamer is dying. Streaming service is dying. Except I don't know. All things considered, Disney Plus is still going to be the key place to go for like all parents to be able to go find all the back catalog stuff. So
that's the only reason to have Disney Plus. But but even then, like, they're pushing it, making you not want to.
Yep.
Why is there a uterus on my screen?
That is a weird one. I mean, those.
I mean, I've seen these ads before, but not like this.
Yeah, that one's a pretty.
Yeah, that is a weird layout.
Is this like a metaphor for crabs or something? The burning sensation when you pee. I don't know. Did you see that? This was like 3 weeks ago when we never talked about it. It's probably not relevant because it's not nerdy. But we have proof now that the press secretary is writing Joe Biden's tweets because she accidentally tweeted from the wrong account.
I mean,
we all knew
at all.
You know, Joe Biden wasn't writing his own tweets, but it's nice to have the proof. You know. Anyway, I pulled it up twice. That's how dumb I am. That's how I'm out of sorts tonight. It's gonna be a chill. It's gonna be a chill stream. I'm not organized. I don't even remember.
I think I sent you that.
Yeah, I think you sent you. That's why, because I was like, I don't remember what I was going to say about this, and then I remembered you sent it to me, and I kept it.
Yeah.
So what did you want to say?
I don't know. That was 3 weeks ago, bro.
All I know is that Rachel Ziegler was they found, after Everyone Hates Her now, they found out she was one of the principal people spearheading the attack against Gina Carano, and now I hate her even more.
Yeah, that's not
good. I think if I remember right, Elon Musk liked a quote, a tweet from Gina Carano, or they.
When he was saying, if you've been unfairly treated.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just not very like newsy.
Right.
Thanks for sending that to me, David. I mean, like, screw Disney. Gina Carano's great, but it's kind of a weird story. So thanks for that. This was great. It's out of order though, because this one's supposed to come first. So today on James Gunn lied again, and is trying to gaslight everybody now. He now says I was never making a young Superman movie. when that was literally why that was his principal excuse for firing Henry Cavill. And we know because I did on this show, we immediately called him out because his new cast for Superman was like 6 years younger than Henry Cavill. And we're like, but I thought it doesn't add up.
Yeah.
And now he's saying, no, it was never my intention to do a young Superman movie. I lose more and more faith in James Gunn every day, especially after he promoted Kelly Sue DeConnick's Wonder Woman run, which features a queer Wonder Woman and just complete lore-breaking garbage as breathtaking and beautiful. So, screw James Gunn. And this was a really good tweet that just highlighted the stupidity of the situation. The day that Henry Cavill announced he was coming back, right? When he got the news, hey, I just talked to Warner Brothers, and they asked me to film a bunch of cameos because they said, you're back as Superman, baby. Yeah. 4 million likes. That's not views. That's likes.
Yeah.
That's how many people saw The Flash?
I saw.
I just know it wasn't 4 million.
Yeah, I mean it's maybe just about that many people, but yeah.
Yep.
But to claim that there's no hype for, that he doesn't have draw.
Yeah, it's insanity.
It's crazy. I hope he doesn't get screwed over by Amazon with his Warhammer stuff.
Yeah.
Hit that like button, baby. Oh gosh. This I thought was hilarious. California store owner priced all of his items at $951 so that thieves can be prosecuted. This is not a joke. This is a story.
That's
and
good.
he gives coupons upon checkout
that's brilliant.
to reduce the price to its regular price. If you don't know, California just doesn't prosecute thieves or shoplifters if they haven't reached a threshold of monetary damage.
Yep.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the prisons are stupid full anyway, so that's...
There we did news for the first time in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So if you've been asking for it, you can't ask for it anymore. We did news. Most of those stories were 3 weeks late because I've been holding on to them. And because I always every time I'm on Twitter or looking at the news on my phone, I'll email myself an article and then pull it up on Sunday. And I knew that I had such a backlog, I've been skipping a bunch that I just haven't sent myself because we sell so backlog. All right, let's talk about Ahsoka. I haven't been watching, but Jared has been dying because you texted me. I really wanted to come on last week, and then you didn't.
Yeah, I wasn't able
too
to
busy.
make it, unfortunately.
All right, what's your
my hot take, especially for this podcast?
Let me guess. I'll do it for you. Okay. Oh. This is Jared on Ahsoka. Oh, come on, guys. It's not that bad. Look, yeah, it's woke as crap. Okay, there's all kinds of... It's girl power, whatever, but I still enjoyed it. Star Wars isn't dead to me yet. Okay? I'll keep coming back like a wife in an abusive relationship who just can't give up her husband, okay?
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
I'm loyal,
Okay. Most women don't know what loyalty means.
The more you suffer, the more it shows you really care, right? Yeah. There, yeah.
Am I close?
No, you're not. You're not. Although, I honestly, I haven't seen a whole lot of it's super wokeness or whatever. It feels.
It's not overtly woke. It's just super cringy because it's so overtly a girl power, which is a symptom of woke, but it's not shoving pronouns down your gullet.
To me, it gets up to that line where it doesn't quite cross into the it's all girl power or whatever. In the same way that like Mandalorian season 2, where it ended that last thing.
Is a naked roll.
Hey, no longer. I have this ridiculous kind of weird looking beard going on. Anyway, no, like because it's more like Mandalorian. My main comparison is it's like Mandalorian season 1 and 2. Really, really good. There's some odd things that you scratch your head out and be like, well, that's odd, weird, whatever. But overall, I'm still enjoying it quite a bit. And it's actually really refreshing. I noticed even coming through Obi-Wan, I wasn't excited for like coming through Andor. I wasn't excited to get to Andor, and I think it's because of the impact of Obi-Wan and Book of Boba Fett. Was Andor before Obi-Wan? Either way. With this one, I was actually getting excited again, and I'm still enjoying it. Again, it's not perfect. No, absolutely not.
Andor was the most recent aside from Mando 3.
Aside from Mando 3,
right.
Okay. But like I wasn't even as excited for Mando 3 as I felt like I am for this. And I really have been enjoying it. Again, there's definitely things to pick at and problems, but I really am enjoying it. The wokeness or the extra level of girl power in there, I felt like, again, like the end of season 2 of The Mandalorian, where it's like it was kind of just the natural course of that's the characters that were there that happened to have been put in the story, which to a degree is an intentional, hey, we're going to make sure we have some girl power in there.
Yeah, hey,
it felt
you can tell an all-female story. That's totally fine. It's just you can tell what they're doing. It's like for me, this is worse than the you're not alone scene from Avengers Endgame, where it's just like bashes you over the head with it.
That was so just very like woman. Oh man, it like yeah. I even could say like there's room to say like maybe there are people for who that was put in there and they liked it, they were happy about it, so good for them.
It's like it's like clapter. Clapter, right? It's like when a comedian tells a Donald Trump joke, and the laughing is because people hate Donald Trump, not because the joke was funny, right? Gotcha. And so this, obviously, if you want to tell an all-female story, you totally can. There's nothing wrong with that, even an all-female Star Wars story. Yeah. But you can tell the writing is so weak because they're leaning on it, thinking, oh, we don't have to work as hard because this is an all-female Star Wars story, so we automatically get points for it. Yeah. I don't really. My biggest complaint about the show is the story is garbage. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't hate the first 2 episodes. I don't think they were amazing at all. I mean, I already gave my thoughts on them. My main issues is with the lore questions that it brings about. And I thought episode 3 was a lot better.
Well, no.
Still, I can't connect with Sabine. I don't know what it is about that actress.
Sabine is insufferable.
I'm actually kind of with you that there's something about the way she's written in this show that doesn't connect with me.
Her character introduction is, it's not even like they're trying to do like edgy, like I'm the emo girl, right? Like I don't need no man, whatever. Like I'm not going to conform. I'm going to fight the system. Except the system that she's fighting is a group of people who want to congratulate her for saving the world.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I get it if, like, your dad is the mayor and everyone bows to him or whatever, and you're just like, oh, like, my dad, like, people don't even know he's, like, abusive at home, right? And so, I don't want to be part of the system, right? I want to go and join the circus, right? Like, that makes sense. But this is literally everyone like, hey, good job. Like, we all like you so much. Oh, I want to be in. I don't need nobody. I don't want to go to a ceremony. She comes off as a petulant, spoiled brat.
To me,
I agree. Yeah.
To me, it's not quite that bad in terms of because she is just really like off put by the fact that because she's saddened by the fact that Ezra doesn't get to be there to celebrate with them, because a big part of that for her was being with Ezra and Ezra being a part of her family for it. And so being congratulated for this thing.
So then do that in your speech. Say like, hey, I don't deserve this. If Ezra's not here, then I don't want it.
Yeah, no,
but she's just like, oh, I'm gonna put people's lives in danger by gunning it full speed into a spaceship and possibly killing a woman if I mess up.
there's also a lot to be said about like why did they need to corner her to get her to get congratulations?
Yeah.
Like you don't need to do to like stop her and be like she has to be back here right now because we're trying to congratulate her for her role in the overthrowing of the empire. Like
Right.
yeah,
And
so
also,
it's all
of the moments where they try and show you, like that's the thing. The show is doing tell, don't show. The opposite of what you want to do. You want to show that someone is capable. You want to show that someone is cool by making them do good things. The show keeps telling you Sabine is fantastic. She's an amazing artist. And then they show you her artwork. And you're like, yikes, I wouldn't pay a kindergartner to paint that.
Yeah.
Okay, that looked garbage. And then they say, oh, but she's also just like a genius code breaker. And none of us can possibly figure out what the code is. Turns out it's matching. Okay? Are you kidding me? Is everyone in Star Wars just retarded except for Sabine? Because she figured out that the circle block goes in the circle hole.
Yeah.
And they have her just be petulant and run like, I can't solve this in the ship. It's matching's too complicated to be done in a ship. So she has to go back to her place. Why? Because she needs to be captured at the end, right? Like there's literally no reason for her to go to a different location other than Ahsoka can't be there so she can get attacked.
Yeah.
Like they're writing the story backwards. There's no it's retarded. I hate it. And I haven't watched episode 2 or 3.
To me, it's not quite backwards, but I do see where you're coming from. I do think that they're putting things into place that they're just trying to get things up, but in ways that it works for me. Honestly, it does.
Yeah. Honestly, I still enjoyed it, but I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much if I hadn't have finished Clone Wars and Rebels, the animated series. And I think that's going to be a big problem is people like my brother here that hasn't watched those series, isn't attached to these characters. They're not going to stick with it because and the same thing. I was watching it with my wife and I had to pause it several times saying, okay, here's a quick backstory on this character. This is why she's doing this. You know,
that's why I very specifically have not watched it with my wife.
Right, exactly. It's just and like
it's literally a live action sequel
season 5,
to a reboot of an animated sequel to Star Wars, to a prequel of Star Wars.
Yeah, that sums it up. Yes, exactly.
Okay, why is this live action? If you have to watch Clone Wars and Rebels to understand who any of these characters are, just make it animated. Just do an animated sequel.
No, I like seeing it live action. There's a way.
Okay, if you're going to do it live action, then you have to introduce all of the people who don't want to watch all of that crap to these characters, and instead they're just, hey, this is a character and she's great because she's a woman.
And all things considered, obviously it isn't working. But as I was watching through it, I felt like they put enough little pieces in there to help those that haven't seen it to know more or less what's going on. Although, again, as always, when there's previous existing material, there's going to be a lot of things that are missed by people who haven't seen that. I think that the main storyline, the points and purposes of what they're going on, because the story of this show is them getting ready for, being worried about Thrawn and trying to get what's going on with Ezra in relationship to that. And they've given ways to explain who Thrawn is, what he's doing, that they fought him, Ezra disappeared with them, and they're worried about Ezra. So the points for this story, I think they are covering, but there's a lot of that other character backstory that isn't there because you haven't seen it, And that's the other thing.
That's the problem.
That's the other thing for me though too. For some of these storytelling aspects of it, to me, it feels consistent with what I saw out of the shows, out of the cartoon shows, in a way that again didn't stand out to me of wow, they're just doing a terrible job with this. It just felt more in I don't know, keeping with the animated series, which I also really, really liked. So
yeah. So that's why I think that since they didn't do a good job, I think introducing those characters to people who hadn't watched the animated series, I don't think it's going to do very well on that fact alone.
Yeah,
but you also have to watch random episodes of The Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett
Yeah,
to
that's
figure out
true.
who the heck
Well,
Ahsoka is.
Ahsoka didn't really do much in there though, so you
Yeah.
don't really need that. But yeah,
No, she literally the Morgan lady is introduced in that.
True,
What are you
but
talking
again,
about?
Sure.
What are you talking about, David? Trying to
don't need to-
gaslight me?
You don't need to have seen that to know that, like, hey, these guys have fought before, and she's a bad person. Like again, you see that and you've seen what that conflict looked like. But I still think that, like, because we're so used to, and there is all that stuff there, that we like, oh, you have to have seen it in order to understand. I really think that there are people who will understand a lot better without a lot of that context, especially if they're willing to. Again, I think David's point about attachment to the characters might be the best aspect of why this is going to be hard for somebody who hasn't seen those other pieces. And again, as always, when there is that previous material, being like, for those of us who do know that existing material, being able to say, oh, this is why they're doing that, and it makes sense to me, and it really connects with me, but it doesn't connect for you, and so I want to explain it to you, like you are with Martina.
Also, it would help if they were good characters.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think if there's a big disconnect from especially with Sabine, from the
you get the Force, and you get the Force, and you get the Force, but none of you are going to help out Luke, by the way.
Yeah.
See, that's my main issue. My biggest
concerns and questions. I actually liked how they addressed it a little bit in episode 3. No. It's not a perfect explanation, but it's something that I'm like, okay.
Can we talk about the poster too? This is so garbage. Composition. This is ugly. I hate this poster.
I mean, it's fine. It's stretched around the edges.
It's so bad. It's so cringy.
Yeah.
And that's their official poster. I think this is like the other official one. It's also garbage. It's just a screenshot. Whatever.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's not.
So I will just say, so this is the piece that David was just saying that didn't really work for him, that I actually appreciate, because there was an aspect of it that also circles back to the original trilogy perspective on the Force, as opposed to the prequel version of Force abilities, coming to the idea of, her saying, the Force is in all things, because Sabine's kind of saying, like, I suck at this, and she does.
And I do appreciate in episode 3, she's not like going gangbusters with the Force right away. She's like, she's crap at it, right? Yeah, I appreciate that. And
for a variety of different levels of it too, like she's trying to do the moving stuff and it doesn't happen. She tries to do the sensing, because they do a little bit of an homage to the training with Luke with the not being able to see, but she has absolutely no ability with that, or maybe there's a smallest bit of that again comes from her having some fighting ability, and maybe and Hu Yang, which, by the way, David Tennant, awesome, great to hear him as the droid.
He's the best part of the show.
he is. He's really great. And him talking about how, like, I've seen tons and tons of Padawans, and you are worse than all of them.
Although
I can't listen to him in the show and not get mad about Good Omens. So
yeah, that's true.
I suppose there's that, But then, the one thing that I will say too, this last episode, there was a bit that Alan, you would have hated. David, I'm curious as to what your thoughts are. But
you don't say.
Is so they're coming up on the planet where Morgana's doing her evil thing, right? And they get attacked, and so their ship ends up kind of dead in space. So, got to reboot it and do things like that, right? And
I heard Sabine is also all of a sudden an expert mechanic now too.
Well, yeah, that's her character. She's always tinkering with things, and
she's always been a tinkerer. She's like mechanic, and explosives and mechanics and things like that. Yeah.
Right, and a bad artist. Okay, go on.
Yeah, a questionable artist at best. Although everyone says she looks great, but it's just a style.
I thought it was a fun homage to the art style of the animated series
of Rebels. Yeah,
and it looks ridiculous in live action.
Yes, but it's fun. It's artistic.
No, it's like it's like this is like the son of the mayor, and he's a little bit special. Right, so like everyone has to tiptoe around, you're so great, you're so great. You don't need to work on your form at all. Just paint your heart out. This is the most brilliant thing I've ever seen. Here, Joe Biden, I'll pay you $1 million for this painting.
Yeah.
I mean,
I always kind of took it as too. She's she does little doodles and draws or whatever that obviously are goofy and terrible looking or whatever. But she also does a lot of like painting her armor, and so she's artistic in that she likes doing things with color, whether or not it necessarily is like realistic or like she may not be good at drawing realistic things, but she does murals that look pretty because there are lots of different colors that are interesting or whatever. But anyway, that's consistent. That is consistent.
Oh yeah, I didn't watch the episode, but I saw the space.
That's the scene that I'm getting at. So she then Ahsoka goes out on the outside of the plane.
I've heard she gets dressed in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Into a spacesuit.
That's absolutely consistent with the sorts of things that that all shows do. All shows do these sorts of things, and it's like, yeah, that's dumb. I can't disagree with you, but yeah, that's not really the one thing that's thrown me off of it.
Yeah, it's pretty silly looking, and if I remember correctly, there was. Yeah, see, there's another one there from the animated series where she's just wearing
it's just a bubble,
a bowl on her head, right? That looks a lot better than.
Honestly, I was going to say, as small as her Leku are, which they shouldn't be this small technically with her age at this point. Maybe it's because the Leku won't fit in a big bubble anymore. I don't know.
Yeah,
but her being out
even here though, she's got them tucked. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. But all things considered, her being out on the outside of the ship, that's what I want to get at. Like, it was kind of dumb, but also kind of cool. Like so with my ideas as I've been kicking around. I know Mark was asking about my YouTube channel.
Too. I'm sorry. Is this the blind scene?
That's the blind scene.
Yeah, that's the blind scene. Actually, that's pretty consistent. Like I liked that. I think that's a cool looking helmet.
I think it looks ridiculous. These
it looks like a actual martial arts training, thing. That it would make it blind.
Like a sparring helmet.
Yeah, it looks like a sparring helmet. Like it's fine.
From fencing.
It's all good.
Anyway.
Yeah, I agree, Jared. It was a little.
It's ridiculous, but cool.
But also very cool.
Yeah. So Mark was asking about my YouTube channel, and one of the thoughts that I've had is talking about movies and talking about the good, the bad, and the rad, because I want to say more positive. I'll talk about the good, and I'm okay with addressing some of the things that are bad, but instead of the good, bad, and ugly, the good, the bad, and the rad. And for me, this was like bad and rad, because there are some things that like they can be bad, but they can also be rad. And I think that this kind of falls into that same idea of like, it's dumb and pointless and whatever, but it was kind of cool looking, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I had something for this. Hold on, let me see what it was.
This time, it will be different. Please come back.
I promise I'll be good.
I don't care.
There we go.
Yeah. I did have one more criticism of episode 3 in particular too, and I think that's like I already mentioned, I thought it was I appreciated that Sabine wasn't like amazing with the Force right straight off the bat, but I thought they were a little bit inconsistent in the way that they were treating her, because especially when you talk about Hugh Yang, I think it was actually at the end of episode 2, he says that it was in the recap. He says that your aptitude for the Force would fall short of them all, right?
Of all of the Padawans that he's ever seen. All the Padawans that he's ever seen. But then
when she's training, she said, you're without a doubt the worst Padawan or something, unacceptable. And Ahsoka's like, why would you tell her that? And it's like, it's completely opposite. Like, I don't understand why he said, your aptitude for the Force would outshine them all. You would be
No. He didn't say outshine them all. No. He said it'd fall below all of them. She is worse than all the Padawans he's seen. That's what that scene was. He was saying from episode 2. He was saying, you're worse than all the Padawans I've ever seen in my hundreds of years.
Okay, that makes sense then. I was like, it was also really weird to see him flip-flop like that. Okay.
This is also a really apt criticism.
Well,
if they're training with wooden katanas, it's not a good tool to.
Do you want a single-edged sword training, lightsaber?
Applying to a lightsaber?
Yeah, but a single-edged sword is very different from a lightsaber.
True, but there's different styles. There's different kinds of there's different styles of lightsaber combat.
Me too, Mark. I'm trying to get him on. Salty Traveling Company is great.
There you go. But there's different types of lightsaber styles and combats and things like that might reflect more like a single-bladed one. But you also because it's a wooden stick, they're not like, yes, they're training in for a martial arts that is in our world a single-bladed thing, but none of what they were doing was focusing on the idea that make sure you're hitting with the blade here. They're using here is this wooden stick that is like the lightsaber that you're going to be using. Can you be hitting with it? And again, she has training with non-lightsaber weapons already, and obviously has probably received some training from Ahsoka on lightsabers, but like
right.
She's got weapons training, so she's going to reflect that, possibly single-bladed, especially with the dark saber, which is a little bit more oriented than those.
Right.
So it's going to reflect, and the training could still be applicable, even if it's not going to be the only way you could ever use that weapon. So I see the criticism, but that one doesn't necessarily stand out as like that makes it terrible to me. It's just like, oh, okay, I think there's explanations for that. Anyway.
Yeah. I agree. The only other thing I'll say with the show so far is I really hate the Leku in the shows.
Yeah,
they're way too stiff. Like you can see them when they turn and they just kind of like.
Yep, there was a bit that did that
like,
to me too.
Yeah,
it to me, it's one of those.
As a Leku aficionado,
to me.
Oh boy!
Martina, take some notes there. He's a Leku aficionado. But
David is a man of class.
Yeah,
he likes himself a good tentacle woman.
So I think this is an example of we had the all practical effects in the originals, and then in the prequels they went all digital, and everyone was like, "Whoa, it looks awful." And we've done a lot of correcting back to like using practical as often as possible. Although there's still obviously lots of special effects of CGI. So this is a situation where I think that they have leaned too hard on the idea of people will prefer it and like it a lot better if we stick to the all 100% practical effect.
Right.
And I think it is a situation where they've done that in poor practice because they need to have taken that and just said, okay, let's get a practical something there so we get a feel for some of the stuff. And we need to do this hybrid where we then augment it with CGI because it looks so
really
much better.
Good up close until it moves. It just I can't say.
And they're too small. They need to be bigger for the age that she is.
Yeah, that's
which
true.
Again,
gotta have giant tentacles.
Giant.
What's the
that's
point?
what I'm asking for. Big old honking legs. So
I did the meme wrong. It's David is a man of culture, right? That's yeah.
Anyway. As a man of.
I see you too are a man of culture.
Exactly. There we go. The other thing I'll say is that the live action Purgle looked really, really good for as dumb as the concept of Space Wheels is. Technically, Space Wheels.
I actually don't hate the Space Wheels as much as the Puffer Pigs is what really. Was.
Yeah. No, I hope we never see those. I don't want to see those ever again. I'm down for never seeing Puffer Pigs ever again. But the Purgle, I don't hate them as much as a lot of people. But they looked really pretty cool in live action, but I can also understand why people would not like them. And for what they are, they look really, really cool. I thought they looked great. So
I agree.
I appreciate another thing that's great about this show that you see in episode 1 that I really liked in episode 1, and I've seen in these other ones, is the space scenes and the space fight scenes have been really, really cool. I think they look great. That first scene where she comes in, and
is it like the scene in Obi-Wan Kenobi? In the Kenobi space scene? Where the chase where it looks where it looks retarded.
No, well, but even
this one was actually pretty good, and it was really awesome until she got out and fought on the ship, and then it was a little bit goofy, but still pretty cool.
It's still kind of cool because it's like how much of it affected that too? I mean, she blocked like 1 or 2s.
I know, right?
And maybe you could say that those blaster bolts are weaker than like a lot of other ships because they.
Oh yeah, I heard everyone was mad on Twitter. She deflected a laser from a ship with a lightsaber.
I was anticipating that being a complaint. I haven't necessarily seen specifically. She did, but you can also say the sound of of them are a little different. And so I'm going to take that to mean that they're not as powerful as like TIE fighter laser blasts.
No, but that doesn't fit the narrative. These are strong, powerful women who don't need no lasers.
That's what it is. Yeah,
they don't need no lasers.
The design of those ships that they were flying was really cool. Very, very World War I, II evocative of those fighters that the bad people were flying. Was really cool. I liked that. And again, sorry, the point I was going to make about the flying, the outside shots or the space shots, even in episode 1 that you saw, there's the shot where she first comes after she leaves the Arcana planet and is flying alongside Home 1. Like it's very evocative, and it's almost shot exactly like seeing the Falcon flying alongside Home One and Return of the Jedi, but it felt good. It felt cool. There was something about it that really worked for me, and the rest of the space scenes have continued to do that really well for me. So,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So,
I'm really liking it. It's not perfect. I can definitely acknowledge, as I have with a lot of these other ones, there are problems and there are some goofy things. I'm really liking it. It's not even like Book of Boba Fett and Obi-Wan where I'm like, well, there's some good things. I'm mostly liking it.
Yeah, it's nowhere near as egregious as Boba Fett, or I mean, nothing's as egregious as Boba Fett. That was awful.
Yeah, or even Mando season 3, which was.
I really didn't like season 3. I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing. Mando
yeah.
season 3 is below this. This
right.
is better than Mando season 3
for sure.
This is, to me, right in there with Mando season 1 and 2. That's where I'm at.
I don't think it's quite as good as Mando season 1 and 2, but I
Fett
don't hate it.
Boba Fett was better than Kenobi. If I had to choose one to rewatch, I'd rewatch Boba Fett.
No,
hands down. It's not even a competition.
Nope.
No.
I mean, they both sucked.
Opposite.
They both sucked, but I'm never rewatching Kenobi. I hated it so much.
I think that it also makes an effect for me with Kenobi. I haven't even actually finished watching all the way through it, but when they've been able to go in and re-edit it, the 2-hour movie version of it, I've heard is miles better, and I feel like I would rewatch that before I watch either one of them again.
Mandalorian season 1 is the only one that's good,
and Andor.
Oh, sorry, Andor. Yeah.
And I think Andor is the best one. Stephen Burton is asking in the chat, "What's your favorite Star Wars TV show?" I think
Andor's the best one
by far.
I want to see
honestly,
how this one pans out.
I forgot about Andor because it doesn't feel like Star Wars to me, but it's the best one.
Right.
I might have to see how this one pans out, but this one could get there. If not, it'd be Mando. Maybe
even though we've already mentioned it 6 times on the stream, it doesn't feel like Star Wars to me, especially because it's good.
Yeah.
I thought it still felt like Star Wars, but it easily could have just been taken out and put
some other sci-fi.
It felt more like Firefly, like in that universe.
Yeah,
honestly,
more. It's still
which is great
more polished
because I love Firefly.
I'm watching through Firefly again right now. Boy, it's so good, so good.
Yeah, watch Andor. It's real good, Steve.
It is. There
we
solid.
go. Kenobi is egregious.
Yeah.
See, we all knew Boba Fett was going to be bad. Kenobi does more damage. Boba Fett is just whatever. It sucks.
I thought he was good in Mando season 2, though.
Who?
Oh, he was awesome in Mando season 2.
Oh no, that was the best episode. No, so the second best. The best episode is the friggin' Bill Burr. Best episode of season 2 is Bill Burr.
Yeah, going in and out of the compound or whatever.
Yeah, I still put the highest as being Luke showing up. That's
honestly if it was functional. I mean, who wouldn't want one, right? I would immediately paint it. Okay.
Those mopeds would have been fine if it was on Coruscant, but
I actually agree. If it was Coruscant instead of, it would have been only a little bit goofy as opposed to just wildly out of place and ridiculous. And if they had actually gone anything faster than the
slow
walking,
they were so slow.
Goodness, I swear, I believe I brought it up on this channel before or on this stream, not this specific one, but previous episodes where it's like the episode of Seinfeld where Costanza gets the little rascal scooter or whatever, and there's that chase along the sidewalk of him with the other guys getting mad at him for using a little rascal when he doesn't need it, and he people are walking around them, and I'm like, this is what it feels like watching this Book of Boba Fett chase scene. It's ridiculous. It's so bad. And how we went from the guy who directed the episode in season 2 of Mandalorian with Boba Fett being like that to he was in charge of and ran the show for Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It's because he's the guy who did Machete and also did the Spy Kids movies, and he went from Machete to Spy Kids with this. And I'm like, stay with one, stay with Machete.
Dude, Spy Kids crushes. Shut up.
I mean, it's fun for what it is. It's just not
Star Wars. Spy Kids not belong in Star Wars.
I'd even say
okay. I quote
on Coruscant with kids.
Do you think Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of his creations? Okay, that's from freaking Spy Kids, okay?
That's from Spy Kids 2, if I'm not
Dose.
mistaken. That was a pretty damn good sequel. If I
love Spy Kids. I love Spy Kids 3D. It's the worst one, and I love it.
I don't know about that one.
Dude, it's got Frodo in it.
Yeah, the first
And
two
he's the guy.
Mark Clark finally watched Firefly. Good job.
Nice.
You couldn't start with the wrong episode, or you couldn't start with the wrong season because there isn't more than
You gotta watch Serenity first, you idiot.
right?
Yeah.
Although I wonder, since they like actually aired Firefly out of order, I wonder if he watched it in the wrong order of episodes.
Did you watch it in publication
just to
order?
be,
Oh gosh, they did Firefly so dirty.
so
Yeah.
dirty, so dirty. Oh,
Yeah,
I
Firefly's
need to get
great.
around to Babylon 5.
Honestly, though, I joke, but you can watch Serenity with no context, and it's still good. I actually
Yeah,
did watch
it
it
is.
before the show. I didn't know there was a TV show.
Yep.
Babylon 5.
That was well done. Yep.
I need to
I
get
will
back
also
to
say-
Babylon 5, but I'm stuck on Star Trek right now. So
Nerdporial saying that he found Andor boring. I don't disagree with you there. Like
It
it
is
was
slow.
not action packed, and that's the thing is I don't want to be too critical of that because I don't think everything needs to be all action packed. But I did struggle with it a lot more than I wanted to, especially because it was so good and it was
the
well
DVDs
written, you
should
know?
be in order. Yeah.
Yeah, the DVD should be in order. Yeah, and almost everything that I've seen it on has put it in correct order. But
The correct chronological order. But when it was initially aired, it was all
yeah, they did.
all out of
Yeah,
order.
yeah.
And everybody was confused.
I don't. They didn't even finish airing it. There were episodes they never aired.
I almost feel like I'd heard that. Yeah, that they had one or two that they didn't even finish airing.
They canceled it without even airing the full season.
Yep.
It's a shame.
Ah.
But Serenity is fine. Serenity is the consolation prize, and it's great.
Yeah, we talked too about like how weird it is that things like Netflix, they'll like have really successful shows and they'll just cancel them out of nowhere. But they usually do at least give them the 3 seasons, where as opposed to these old TV networks that just didn't give shows a chance.
Yeah.
They started them out and then they just killed them. Which one's
Is it
LOGH? I don't know.
League of Galactic Heroes. That's the one that he's always clamoring about. That I will watch eventually when I have more time. I probably said it wrong.
Yeah.
I know that the GH is Galactic Heroes.
Okay. The one for me is Stargate. Stargate's the other one that I really, really like. Stargate SG-1, Atlantis, and Universe was actually really good, and I was really bummed that died.
Yeah. The problem with that is there's so many different
Oh,
versions of it and movies and tie-in movies. I don't know where
Legend.
to start with that.
Honestly, just
Legend.
watch the shows. Ignore the movies. Ignore the Stargate movies.
Yeah.
I got pretty close. I said League of Galactic Heroes, but it's Legend.
Oh.
Hey, I watched
that one,
I watched the
actually.
Stargate movie. The Stargate movie's good. The first
Well,
one.
so the first original one is fine. Definitely watch that one. The TV show spins off of that idea and definitely changes a couple of things from lore. It's like
I haven't watched any other movies, but yeah.
But yeah, the rest of the movies, totally ignore them and literally just watch SG-1 and then go to Atlantis and then go to Universe. Like it's like there is a little overlap in SG-1 and Stargate Atlantis. So if you wanted to take the time to try to make sure you watched as those go through, but like overall, watch SG-1 and then watch Universe or Atlantis, and you're totally fine.
Yeah.
Well, I
They're
haven't
really,
heard.
really good. I like them a lot.
I still have not got word from Jared Prime, so he's probably busy doing something and forgot to text me.
Bummer.
Jared Prime, so that you could talk about Wheel of Prime.
Yeah, Wheel of.
I was going to say, should we tell him that you've that his Prime terminology is actually related to the fact that he talks about Wheel of Prime?
Maybe.
Would that make him feel sad?
Yeah, the Nerdporial has a great video explaining why the Legend of Galactic Heroes is good.
I'll have to take a look at that because there was an anime that was recommended by a friend of mine years ago, and he said it was really good. And I'm not really into anime. The only anime that I've watched is Avatar, if you count that. But
yeah, most people don't count Avatar.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's borderline,
It's American though, so
yeah, true, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark's
Post a
watching
link,
it.
if you will, to your video, Nerdporial, and I'll check it out.
Mark is watching it. Great,
Yeah.
great, Mark. You'll have to tell us what's
Cool. I'll have to check
good. I
that
don't
out.
believe Nerdporial.
That's the same one.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm busy.
Hey, they're
Speaking
both
of anime,
actually, they're both channel members, so you got to believe them equally. You know.
Yep.
I was going to be like, oh, you know, not that you don't believe in Nerdporial, but you believe Mark because he's your channel member. But so is Nerdporial now. So.
Well, speaking of anime, I watched the first episode of One Piece.
Yeah, how was that?
The live action One Piece. So I wouldn't say I don't know anything about the anime. I know it's a manga that's adapted to anime, and now it's a live action. I've always been kind of interested in it. It looks weird.
And it does.
Like, you know, there's different tiers of animes. This is one, like everything I've seen, it looks like one of those just really goofy ones. But everyone swears that it's amazing storytelling. I just haven't gotten around to it. Also, it's one of the longest running animes of all time, which is daunting. Like,
Yep.
I looked it up, and season 1 has like 90 episodes, and there's like 15 seasons or whatever. I don't know. So I don't have time for that yet.
Yeah.
I have to watch Galactic Heroes first. Okay.
I had a coworker that was big into the show, and I don't know, it seemed weird.
Yeah, people on Twitter were saying like, "Hey, did Netflix actually do something good for once?" They were saying it's good, so I checked out. I watched the first episode of One Piece, and I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I don't know how accurate it is, so if it's butchering the source material, I'm sorry. But it felt like, it seemed to me like they were trying to honor the source material in capturing like the spirit of the anime, and that it is very whimsical, and there are clear scenes where you can tell like, okay, this is clearly like they're paying homage to something anime right now. Like, even when people fight, they do a thing where they like slide backwards, you know, when they hit their swords and stuff. But I had a lot of fun with One Piece, and I think most of the praise just comes down to the main character, this little Mexican kid who hasn't been like in anything. He was in some Mexican TV show before this. He's wonderful. He's infectiously optimistic and it just oozes charisma. And I really like watching him on screen. It's a lot of fun. That's
really cool. Glad to hear it.
It's goofy. Yeah. But the fight scenes are incredible. And it's mostly practical effects. Obviously, the main character, his power is that he's Mr. Fantastic, basically. He's made of rubber, magic rubber, and he's stretchy. So he does like stretches his arms and does punches. Obviously, that's not practical. But like they have like huge sets of of pirate ships and explosions that are all real. So it looks really good, and it seems like it's an incredibly hard thing to balance, just the aesthetic, because the anime leans goofy. Like, they've got characters with like metal jaws, right? Like, one of the bad guys, his lower jaw's missing, so he's replaced it with like a metal thing, and it doesn't look bad live. You know, I think it's it's weird.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting, and I'm looking forward to watching the rest of the season. I've got like 10 days before I was subscribed to Netflix for like a month we needed it for something.
I'll have to ask my former coworker how he likes it, because he was crazy about it. I'll ask him, how faithful it is to the source material.
Especially, and after watching Wheel of Time, which we'll get into, 3 episodes of garbage. Metal Jaws, yeah. After watching 3 episodes of garbage, and specifically in, I believe it was episode 2, where he has the fight with the Murderal, right? Because it ends on a cliffhanger. Okay,
yeah.
And then all right. So episode 2, the fight with the land fights against 3 Murderal, and it is just the worst choreography I've ever seen. It was so bland and so boring and so confusing and just horrible.
Very close.
They're so bad at their jobs.
Yeah.
And then I watched One Piece, and I was like, there was a scene in episode 1 where I was like, this is what it should have been. There's a guy fighting like 6 people at once, and he's just dancing in between them. And I was like, this looks so good, and it's goofy, but it's so much better. Like I would literally take any fight scene from episode 1 of One Piece better than anything I've seen in Wheel of Time.
Yeah, Nerporio, you're right. It is end of episode 1. He fights the murderer.
It's episode 1? Okay.
Yep.
Episode 1. It was bad. Okay.
Yeah.
I really liked One Piece. I'm gonna watch the whole thing, probably. If I don't have a lot
That's
of
cool
time.
to hear. I might have to check it out then.
Yeah.
So, because I was trying to remember, I saw somebody say in the chat here, they have like, is this the one where they've got like 1,000 episodes of the TV series or whatever?
There's a lot.
Yeah, that's one of the few things that I think has kept me from jumping in, because it's just like, it's huge. There's so much.
And also, like you don't have to commit to the whole thing. Like it has like arcs and stuff. So, but
yeah, my approach is always that I like to do the whole thing as much as I can. So I struggle with deciding to not go for the whole thing. So, but that's my issue, I guess.
it takes a while for most people to realize that anime is out there. Yeah, it's hard to sell people on anime. And it's because there's so much of it. It's because it's literally a category. Anime is a category. It's like saying Hollywood. There's so many different kinds of anime, and there's a lot of bad anime. And that's what people know is the bad stuff. There's also a whole lot of really good stuff.
Yeah, I've seen literally, like, I haven't actually watched very many of them, but I've seen that there's things all the way from like anime about like high school volleyball teams to there's one that's like supposedly, I guess I've been seeing some doctors reacting on YouTube to like ones that are all about like their cells in a body, but they're anime characters and they do different things. Like it has all different kinds of anime out there for sure.
My main turnoff with anime is I don't really like the animation style, or the drawing style. But I don't know. I've kind of gotten over that.
I think
there's good and bad animation though too.
Well, I mean, I know
I was going to say that there's even different kinds and styles of animation within there.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, yeah, certainly commonalities, but
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, should we talk about Wheel of Time?
Let's do it.
All right, let me brace myself.
You gonna stick around, Bearded? Or are you gonna?
I'll stick around for a little bit more, but I might dip out in a little while.
I would say you need to watch season 1 so I can get your reaction, but I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So
yeah,
that's the thing that I'm struggling with is the balance between the like, hey, it'd be interesting to be able to have a reaction and be able to see and discuss some of the concept with you from somebody who doesn't have the attachment to the source material, while also feeling like both you and my brother have said like don't even bother. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, here's Nerporial's Golden Girls parody. I haven't watched a lot of Golden Girls, so I might not get the joke.
Golden Girls.
But I'm sure it's great. What?
My wife loves the Golden Girls.
All right, so David might get the jokes. I might not get it as much, but I'm sure it's great. Here we go. You guys can hear. There's no sound at the beginning, so. The Wheel of Prime presents, everybody.
Thank you for being a friend.
You can hear, right? Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, good. I did it right.
Friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
It's funny because she's stupid.
Yep.
She's incredibly stupid in the show.
And incredibly unlikable in this series, in this season as well. Like, I freaking hate her. She's so rude to Lan. We'll get into it. Go ahead.
I'm pausing. I'm assuming this is like copyrighted music. I don't know. You got to tell me if you got a strike on this. You're gonna take down my whole stream because of this video, Mark. I mean,
it's an hour in. It's fine.
And if you threw a party,
Oh,
you invited everyone you knew.
okay. The Dark Friend Social is so freaking okay. It's one of the best scenes from.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it. We'll
You would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached
Oh, yeah,
would
baby.
say thank you for being a friend.
Oh man. Had to end on that tutorial.
I do need to eventually watch some Golden Girls. It was just never anything our parents watched. I'm not going to watch Golden Girls as a kid, right?
Yeah. It's all right.
Kim, okay. Great video. Goodness gracious. Can we just talk about the Dark Friend Social, please? One of the best scenes from book 2. Okay.
It
You've
starts
got-
off book 2,
I believe it never actually says who the prospective character is, but you can glean from context clues that it's Daddy Bornhold, right? I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't remember.
Or it is a White Cloak. It's one of the White Cloaks, who is a Dark Friend, and they're having a meeting, and literally everyone is trying to hide who they are, and he is going through the party. Okay, right. It's not Bornhold, but it is one of the White Cloaks. He's one of the leaders. Okay, because his instruction is to bring the White Cloaks to Faldara. Oh shoot, is it now I'm afraid I said the wrong city. Is it Falma? It's Falma.
All credibility lost, gone.
It's
You know nothing.
Hey, this is why we need Jared Prime here.
It's Falma, isn't it? It's Falma. I said the wrong one. I said Faldara. I knew it was an F. I know, kid.
Yeah.
Just end the stream.
Certainly was effed. Wait, what?
All right, you guys take it.
All right, so let me tell you what I think about Wheel of Prime. No,
Yeah, so
I've
this
never
the
seen
scene
it.
where they just
I'll stay at the bottom for the rest of the chat.
let me give you my opinion on this show that I have seen absolutely nothing besides what has been on this stream.
Okay.
Yeah.
The chapter is from the perspective of Yachim Karadin, who is one of the White Cloak commanders, and it's the Dark Friends. And it makes sense. The books are so freaking cool. Okay, so the Dark Friends, they're all trying to hide their identities. Okay, they don't want people to know who, because Dark Friends are backstabbing and they're constantly vying for power. So if you know the identity of another Dark Friend, you're going to screw them over so you can take their place. You can move up the ladder. Okay, so everyone is trying to mask their identity and keep it a secret. And like they literally have rules. Like the Black Aja, they don't even know who the other Black sisters are because like their role is they separate. They only know like 2, right? So they split up the list. So you have like 2 contexts, and those contexts have 2 different contexts than you. So no one knows. Like that's the rule of Dark Friends, is you're not allowed to know who else it is unless you're assigned together on a mission. Okay.
Well, the first
And
and,
one of the-
second rule of Dark Friends
is you don't talk about Dark Friends, okay? And this chapter in book 2 is so good because it's this awesome character who's a Dark Friend and a White Cloak and a genius, and he's just looking for clues everywhere. Like he sees like, oh, this lady took off her ring, but she's clearly trying to mask her identity. But she's clear based on this and this and her shoe. He's doing a Sherlock, right? Based on the mud on her shoe, she probably came from this part of the continent. And he's gleaning clues. It's super cool. And in the show, instead of having a cool guy do cool stuff, they have a little girl run under the table and show you the hidden details of the Dark Friends, and one of them is literally wearing his uniform for the for Faldara.
Yep, and then you got the fingernail lady, and yeah,
It's I believe it's the one who Perrin finds dead. Like he's literally wearing his uniform at the Dark Friends social, covered in like a black cloak. It's so stupid. What's the cloak for? Everyone can see your dresses underneath, okay? And then they have the close up of Leandrin Sedai wearing an Aes Sedai ring on the outside of her glove. And it's not a regular Aes Sedai ring. It's a black Aja ring. It's a black stone.
Yeah.
It's retarded.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb. But I mean, it gets just amazing that scene where, you know, they greet the Trolloc. That was just chef's kiss. Mwah.
Oh.
Beautiful imagery.
I know everyone in the chat here has already seen. I believe it was the Prophet who pointed out the parallels to grooming in that scene, right?
Yeah.
I didn't tell my wife about it, and she made the exact same connection.
Yeah.
In the scene where they're not monsters; they're just hungry. All you have to do is reach out and touch it. And she goes, "Yeah, touch his penis." I'm like, that's what we've been saying.
Yeah. That scene was very cringe.
Very cringy.
Yeah.
It's like when kids are superheroes and their parents can't recognize their voices. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is the opening scene for The Wheel of Poop. Great video. Okay, I hated it. I hated it so much. Trolloc lives matter, exactly.
Yeah. So where do you want to start? You want to bring up points? You want to go by?
I don't want to start
sequentially.
I'm going to pull it up so I can go.
You've got to. You cannot leave this room until you dissect it. You must purify
it. It's hard. Like, so season 1 was an abomination, right? But it took longer for me to realize it because there were a lot of parallels to the books, right? For them, it follows kind of, for a little bit, the plot of book 1.
Yeah.
Then it goes on a massive tangent for like 4 episodes that's not in any of the books. But then it goes back to book 1, and then the ending is just like, I don't know what this is, but it's not book 1.
Loosely inspired on book 1, yeah.
So like, it's easier to dissect season 1 because you have something to compare it to.
Yeah.
Season 2 is supposedly adapting books 2 and 3 together, which a lot of people complained about Rafe's comment that he did say it poorly. He said, books 2 and 3 basically have the exact same story. And you're like, okay, no. They have similar beats in that, like, the finale is Rand going up against one of the it's the same Forsaken, and they have a battle, right? And so, like,
right.
I understand having to merge those two, and we even played a game which I want to force a lot of the White Cloaks to play. The how do you cut? Which books do you cut, and which books do you squish down if you only have 8 seasons, right?
Yeah.
We played that during season 1 of how do you plot out the entire series if there's 15 books and only 8 seasons. So like I totally understand that you have to merge books.
Yeah. And I think it's
and out of all of the books, as much as I loved, like, book 2 would literally make a phenomenal season of television by itself, and so would book 3. I understand needing, if you want to cover all 15 books, needing to merge those two. This isn't either of them.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't even know how to talk about season 2 because it's nothing. There is nothing from the books in this.
Yeah. Well, so the only thing that I like about this season so far, that I think they've done well, is some of the stuff in the White Tower. I think some of the training with Nynaeve and Egwene, that was all right. I think that was done well, and Matt's kind of more or less
training?
what
Her
happened in the books.
Nynaeve being so stubborn, she decides to drink mop water.
I thought that
Like
was
they don't understand her character. That she wouldn't do something stupid out of stubborn. She would.
Yeah.
Her character is she would stay there until she figured it out.
Which it showed her later trying to figure it out on her own in seclusion. You know, she just didn't want to be forced.
I'm so prideful. I'm going to drink this mop, and this. I just proved a point, and then walks away. That was retarded. I'm sorry. I hated that so much.
I thought it was fine, but yeah.
What did I think of the 4D chess with Leandra and Min in cahoots? I don't know what to think of it because I don't even know what they're going for. Like, what is the point of it? All right.
Yeah, it's the whole thing is so confusing. They're completely demolishing Rand and Lan and Matt. Like, they're completely different from the books.
Yeah, Rafe Judkins has said Matt is his favorite character repeatedly.
He's
you wouldn't be able to tell.
I do not understand. I mean, like, I get you changed actors, so you have to adapt somehow, but it's just, I don't, like, what the hell is his plan with Matt? Matt is stupid and insufferable, and that scene where he almost talks to Nynaeve, or to Egwene that's crying in the thing, and he decides not to. I wanted to punch him in the face. It's like, this is not Matt. Oh.
Also, they have Matt using real world swear words constantly.
Yeah.
As if Robert Jordan didn't create an entire lexicon of fake in-world swears.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that, you know, when people criticize Star Wars for that, I'm sometimes like, you know, it's fine. It's not. But if there is in-world, in-universe swears that have been created, why are you not using those?
Yeah.
That is kind of because that's one of the things I love with Sanderson. He does a lot of good, like coming up with good in-world swears.
He got it from Robert Jordan.
That makes sense.
Yeah. For sure. Definitely.
Uno saying feckers. Yeah. Right before getting his head slammed through a spike.
Yeah, Uno. When he came on the screen, I'm like, oh, Uno is a really cool character, Martina. You're going to love it. And then he just, like, freaking dies in the end of episode 3. I'm like, what the crap?
See, burn you got. Blood and bloody ashes.
Gosh. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, you're right. It's hard to talk about because it's so...
Say the Dark One's beard, is that it? Or
books. Yeah.
The Dark One's balls or something like that?
Well, that's...
just as a point of clarification, did just an episode drop or 2 episodes or something like that? Or was it
3?
Not the whole season? 3 episodes?
3.
Okay, that's right.
And it's a stupid decision until you watch the first episode and you're like,
nothing happens.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I get why they dropped 3 because I would not come back.
Yeah,
right. Like, it's a sign of a weak show when they have to drop 3 episodes at once to get you hooked enough to return the next week.
Yeah,
certainly not a good sign. I mean, there's room for both. They're like, you know, get a little extra, get a little, you know, you maybe need a little extra time to get the full idea out there well enough. But
yeah.
The weird thing about 2 is not surprising. 3 is pretty bad.
Yeah. The weird thing about this show, though, is compared to some of the other shows that we've reviewed, you know, like Rings of Power or Willow or some of the Star Wars stuff, all of the actors in this show are competent actors.
Yeah.
I think they do a really fine job. There's nobody like these other shows, like Galadriel, that you're just like, oh my gosh, this person can't act. This is all done. It's all put together very competently. If I didn't know anything about the books, I might think this is a decent show because The actors are good. The story, there's something there. It's not the books. It's so weird.
Except Leandrin. I think she's a horrible actress. I
Sure.
think she's horrible. And Min. Leandrin.
Min, yeah. Min is not.
And Perrin. Dude, the guy. And it might just be the material they're giving him, but Perrin is insufferable on screen.
Yeah.
Honestly, both actors that they've gotten for Matt, they're not bad. And the guy, the actor for Rand, I think is great casting. I think he's actually a good actor. If they actually
he was good in season 1,
wanted him to play Rand,
like what the hell are they doing? Like I understand if they're combining books 1 and 2, right? 2, the whole thing where they were finding the horn. They were finding the horn and they were looking for the knife.
Lady thinks Rand's a bad actor. I mean, he's been really bad material.
If it was just this season, I agree with you. He's not great. He was great in season 1, though.
You watched his Dutch show. Oh, well, you have more patience than me, so maybe he is a bad actor.
Yeah,
he does look the part, though. I think that he looks like Rand.
Yeah, but it's just so.
There we go.
You know, if you're going to combine books 1 and 2, and you're not going to have him, you know, because book 3 he was off doing his own thing. You know, trying to fulfill the prophecies of the dragon or whatever. And then book 2 was all the hunting of the horn and the dagger for Matt, which I'm really upset that they don't have that be a portion of it. And Matt's just fine, but he's in prison for some reason. I don't know. But it makes sense.
The only one hunting the horn is Perrin.
Yeah, but so I mean, you had Matt along in the second book, and then he disappeared in the third book. But for some reason, they're not having him go and help hunt the horn. So they have to make up crap for him to do because he wasn't in the third book. So he's just sleeping with Celine for some reason. She just comes out of nowhere.
Okay, so I would say, that's the thing. Like they're that's what I would say about Matt. They're giving Matt this weird arc.
Yeah.
And for Rand, they're giving him literally nothing.
Oh, did I say Matt again? I keep saying Matt when I mean Rand.
You said Rand, but I disagree. I think they're giving Matt a whole lot more to do than Rand. So they're all supposed to be hunting the horn, but Perrin's the only one doing it. And so they've got this arc where Matt's trying to escape prison, and it's kind of interesting. I mean, it's stupid, but it's. And then Rand, they're like, okay, he's just going to be banging. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all we got. And I timed it.
Shame because in the book it was David, so interesting.
Pop quiz. How long do you think the show took to show the main character of the books?
It wasn't until the end of episode 1, right?
49 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's literally for a 30-second scene, and it goes right back to Moraine. And that's the only scene he gets in episode 1.
Yep. Yeah, it's ridiculous. And like I said, it's a shame because the book 2 was so interesting. Rand knew he was dangerous because he's gonna go crazy and kill everybody, right? He's scared that he's gonna hurt the ones he loves, but he wants to stick around and find the dagger. He doesn't care about the horn. He wants to find the dagger to save Matt's life. And that was such an interesting, dichotomy or whatever. He doesn't care about any of that. He just wants to get the dagger, get it to Matt, and get out of there. And
I know the show doesn't give you a reason why they're hunting the horn other than it's powerful, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, if it was so powerful, why didn't you use it to save everyone's lives at the end of season 1? Like everyone died.
Yeah.
Everyone in Faldara is dead.
Yep.
Leandrin telling Matt he doesn't matter is Rafe telling the audience he doesn't matter.
Even though
it's Rafe telling the audience that it's Matt's his favorite character.
Yeah.
It was only 18 seconds of Rand in episode 1. I was being conservative. I said 30, but the actual number's 18.
Yeah.
I need a clip of the prophet saying what's happening here. I might use him in my devoid of logic. What's happening? The horn is absolute crap.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. But yeah, this is what I was talking about. This is the Dark Friends
Secret meeting.
concealing their identity by wearing a hood and leaving their 20-inch nails and obviously Sean Chan attire completely exposed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Nerdboy will send me that clip. I wouldn't. I would hate to have to go watch one of his videos and wait to hear him say it. Give me the timestamp so I don't have to watch one of his videos.
So here's a question that I have then about this idea of them revealing these. So obviously it's stupid that they're showing up in a way where it would be.
He's wearing his uniform.
Yeah.
His uniform.
Obviously, it's stupid that they're showing up in a way that like other people of the council would be able to find out. But is this also a sort of situation where like, so obviously they're doing this where like the kid's coming under so that she can have us as the audience see who these people are. Would it have been a lot better for the show to keep that secret from the audience as well?
Yes, it would.
So that's like, why are you telling us that this? Because it's so much more interesting when you have
the scene. The scene works in the books
people are.
Because the viewpoint character he's a genius, and he's only getting crumbs. He's doing the Sherlock Holmes. We're like, oh, the mud on the shoes, and this tells me you were in this region.
Yeah.
Probably means this person's an Aes Sedai, and that's like it. That's all he gets. He gets little crumbs of information. But this, it's bringing your daughter to work day because she walks up and says, Mom, how long are we going to stay here? Who brings their daughter to a dark friend meeting?
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like there's another dude that goes up to the table too. That's
it's okay.
Like, well, yeah, so they're not even anywhere close to protecting their secret, their identities.
Yeah.
Right.
It was very stupid.
My wife wanted to watch this with me. She's like, "Yeah, I want," because she watched season 1 and then she read the books, and she's like, "Okay, season 1 was horrible," and that she's like, "I want to watch season 2 with you just to see how bad it is." She couldn't finish episode 1.
Yeah.
She walked away. It was so slow. Episode 1, aside from like nothing happening and it being an abomination. Everyone was talking like they were wading through molasses.
Yeah.
We got literally, I timed it. I believe it was 4 minutes of Moraine crying in the bath. It was so clever. It was paralleling the scene from season 1 where she heated up the water.
So clever.
Which they showed you in the previously on, in case you forgot.
Yeah, they did.
But now she's really sad because she can't heat up the water. 4 minutes of that and 18 seconds of the main character.
Yep.
Obviously, they don't consider that person the main character.
This is a dork friend meeting. Did she like the book? I don't know. Oh yeah, she. My wife. Sorry, I was like, who are you talking about?
Rape Drug Goods.
The actress. I just spaced on her name.
Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund Pike, because she narrated the book and everyone was praising her for it, and I think it's garbage because you can't beat the greats.
Yeah.
You cannot beat the greats of Gosh, I'm sick. My brain is not working.
Robert Ingalls and
Robert Ingalls. No.
No, who's Robert Ingalls? What am I?
The narrators for the Wheel of Time, baby. And now I'm looking like an idiot because I love them. I remember she liked my tweets. Okay, Michael Kramer, Kate Redding.
That's the one.
Kate Redding liked one of my tweets because she's great. Yeah, so you get 4 minutes of Moraine crying in the bathtub, and then the first real scene, like of information, where people are talking, and it's not just someone crying in a bathtub, is overt sexuality. Yeah. I don't even know who any of these characters are because for some reason nobody says anyone's name. Like in the first 3 episodes, and I've read the books, and so I'm like trying to figure out is this person that I don't even know who these people are.
I kept having to pause, and Amazon will tell you the character.
Yeah, if you X-ray it, you can figure out. I legitimately have no idea who this. One is obviously Varen. I don't know who the other Aes Sedai is, but there's Varen because Varen's cool. I think her actress is fine. But it's Varen's sister, the one who has a warder that's not a warder who she likes but also like doesn't have sex with. It was like weird. She's like, oh, he doesn't have a sex life now that he's my friend. I don't even understand what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's
so juvenile that we have this great source material and we've replaced it with this. Yes, this is based on the chapter where Moraine gets attacked by Drakkar, which was a cool chapter. This wasn't. So there's that.
And then they make up abilities for the fades that they can just like fade out of rock or some stupid crap like that.
Yeah, I don't know who this is. I don't really care. And people on Twitter were like, can we talk about how freaking awesome it is that there's a book on the table? Because that's Varen's book. And that's important in book 8, as if we're going to get 8 seasons of this show. Can we just talk about, there's so many cringy, stupid people on Twitter. Yeah, Varen Sedai is correctly one of your favorite characters from the series. Because she is one of the best characters. Not in the TV show. Embrace death. Yeah, it's a good one. It's comically diverse casting. Oh, gosh. Okay, so they did this, blah, blah, blah. And for some reason, they decide to introduce Bail Doman. Whatever. And he's got a thing. And then Rosmond is just being awful to Lan.
Yeah.
For no reason. It's
Moraine.
Literally not explained. Oh, yeah, Moraine is being awful to Lan. I don't understand. So much so that he, leaves her in episode 3. So stupid. And then we get training, which you thought was good and I thought was stupid because they clearly don't understand the characters. And then you get a whole bunch of Aes Sedai talking to each other. And I don't know who they are. This one's Alana or something.
Yeah,
and that probably Shiriam, I think, just because I watched her stupid intro video. And one of them's Leandrin because we knew her from season 1. I don't know who any of these other people are because they don't name the characters in their show. Yeah, Shiriam.
Tell those trees in the background to be careful. She might get a little friendly with them.
Okay.
Yeah. Good call, Jared.
The trees? Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. Because
I was going to say, yeah, one of the few comments I can contribute to this conversation because that was a weird video.
That's a good zinger. I just thought you were talking about this character because oh boy, let's talk about
oh gosh,
let's talk about her 3-way,
and then her interesting advice to Egwene about the 3-way.
So she has sex with 2 men. Oh, first we get Perrin and Uno, who gets to say one of his 3 lines, his 3 spoken lines.
Yeah.
Where he says a thing, right? And we still, for some reason, we're still making Loyal look like he's wearing a mop on his head. They haven't fixed it.
Yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? You already,
I don't know, get better.
Established it in season 1.
And I hate that the sniffer is...
They're combining the sniffer with the other the Wolfkin guy.
Yeah,
that they come across.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Anyway, literally, it's just people talking. The whole episode is just talking and talking and talking.
Yeah. I thought that scene was good when she.
when she hits her with air, sure.
Yeah.
Except that I don't know why this is Leandrin's character arc. It doesn't make sense. She hates all of the girls. She hates them.
Yes.
Whatever.
But that scene was very similar to how it happened in the books, except for it was in their dormitory, I think.
Talking, more talking, being mean to Lan. No Rand, no male characters. More talking, more feelings. Everyone is talking about their feelings.
Yeah, and then they established those lanterns as like some ritual they do for Beltane that they never established previously.
No, they did.
Did they?
Yeah, they established that in season 1.
All right, I don't remember that.
So it literally took 50 minutes to even get a glimpse of Rand.
Yeah.
And then it goes straight back. I was like, finally, I was laughing. I was like, how long? I was like, Stephanie, it's been 30 minutes and they haven't shown Rand. It's been 35 minutes. They haven't shown Rand. And 50 minutes later, hey, they showed Rand. Cuts back to Moraine.
Yep.
It's literally just people talking, and then there's a crappy fight scene at the very end with fades that have the power of Graben. It's Elias. Thanks. I know all of these names. I'm just real. I'm not myself today. My brain is not working. So
yeah,
it's not like I don't know the Wheel of Time. I've been saying all of the names that I forgot tonight, incessantly complaining to my wife. Oh, and Elias did this, and it was so stupid, right? This fight was so bad. Go watch this fight, and then go watch One Piece, and you'll be like, I don't want to watch the Wheel of Time ever again.
Yeah,
his little triple flip in the air that just comes out of nowhere, and like, hey, you wouldn't. It's just stupid. They made Lan look stupid. He took out like they showed Moraine killing a Fade because she's being sneaky. He kills one, and then he just gets bodied because he can't fight two people at the same time. I get that they're Murdral, but also having them fight like 7 Murdral really diminishes how scary these things are.
But yeah, also
because these things are terrifying. They're a huge force in the books.
Yeah,
right. Even after you kill them, they flash around. You know, they writhe for like an hour before they die. So it's like a thing. You know, it's mentioned several times in the books that there are people who have there are very few people who have managed to fight a Fade and live. And occasionally, some people have even killed a Murdral, and they usually die too, because they can still move around and kill you after they're dead. Like they say, like they don't even know they're dead yet.
Yeah, Jacob, you're right. You can't see the fight. It was very dark, and it was also a lot of the shots were very close up, and it's poorly framed.
Also, Murderal's swords are dipped in the Death River at near the Dark One's prison. I legitimately did forget the name of the Dark One city, whatever. I'll have to look that one up.
I couldn't help you there. I've only read the first 3 books.
Their blades are dipped in like a river of death blackness, and so if you're cut by a Fade's blade, Thrakandar. Thank you, lady. I promise you, I'm a Wheel of Time nerd. It's a rough day.
But the other thing about this fight is not only was it incoherent and stupid, and they crapped on Lan, but every single time that the Fades were like super ferocious and fighting really fast, like superhuman speed, and then Lan gets knocked down prone, and then they go super slow. Yeah. It's like it's so stupid. Every single time he gets knocked down, they're swimming through molasses or something.
Yeah. So yeah, I knew Shale Ghul, but that wasn't what I was talking about. Shale Ghul is where the Dark One is imprisoned, and just outside Shale Ghul is the city Thrakandar, where they dip their blade. There's like the bad guys have a city. They have a city. It's actually really cool when you get a little perspective from the hunter later in the books.
Nice.
They dip their swords in a death river, and if you're cut by a Murdral's blade, you die. Unless there is a Aes Sedai there to heal you. Which I guess there were Aes Sedai present, so whatever. But it just makes Lan look stupid. Like, at the end of the books, at the end of the 15 books, he kills a bunch of Murdral. and it's freaking awesome. And now they decide to have him fight Murderall at the very beginning, and it just makes the Murderall not scary.
Yeah,
it makes them not scary. Talking about blades that are supposed to kill people but don't. Loyal was stabbed by the dagger from Shadow Logoth at the end of season 1, and apparently I'm going to use the clip in my thing, the Monty Python clip. She stabbed me with a soul dagger. I got better, it's like they don't even explain why Loyal's alive.
He's just back.
They don't even mention that he was stabbed. He's just there, along with I think a couple other characters. I haven't gone back to compare who was stabbed in that scene and who's just up and walking and fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, this scene was dark and stupid and dumb. And then they did a whole teaser. Even dropping 3 episodes wasn't enough. They had to do that. What you're going to see this season, I promise you, it's going to be good. So then we go back and we get more talking, more being mean to Lan. And then Perrin.
Yeah.
Perrin's wolf powers are now he straight up sees visions. Oh, Guy, great comment. Was it a lightsaber? That's probably why Lan and Moraine lived, because they were stabbed by lightsabers. And, and Loyal too. So this is kind of an homage to the book in The Great Hunt, but it's Rand who sees these visions of the family in the everyone's favorite flicker chapters, where he gets flickers of the past and he sees these families being murdered by the Trollocs and Fades. And it's wonderful because, he has magic and he can do that kind of thing,
Yeah.
But they decided to make that Perrin's because Rand's not here in the scene. So
Exactly.
Perrin's wolf powers are that he sees visions of people. And it's confirmed because Elias says, "Oh, you saw the visions?" And you're like, how is that a wolf power?
Yep.
He's supposed to be able to smell evil.
And communicate with the wolves and sometimes, see from the perspective of the wolves.
Yep.
But not this.
And we again see a dead Murderall, which is fine. That's in the books.
Yeah.
But they're really they've shown so many dead Murderall now.
Yeah. The reason why it was amazing.
They're not scary.
You thought this was not possible.
They did this after they already showed you killing a bunch of Murderall.
Exactly.
It's so stupid. This was unprecedented in the books, and they're like, wait, what could kill the most evil thing ever? Oh, Podon Fane, because he's even more evil, right? That's why it's a gotcha. And in the show, It's like, well, I mean, yeah, but we already killed a bunch of them, so I mean, here's another dead one, I guess.
Yeah, good point.
And they're foreshadowing stuff with Ingtar very subtly. Why do you want to bury the traitor? I don't know. Maybe it's because I am one.
You're
so stupid. And then we get the plot that Rand
this crap with Rand.
The plot that Rand gets is okay. So last time we left our characters. The finale of the TV show was Rand realizing that it's not real because he loves Egwene so much. He loves her with all of his heart. And you can't give me fake Egwene because that's not the one I love. Cut to Rand just boning random innkeeper lady. What?
Yeah.
The show's retarded, but it's not even consistently retarded. I thought it was so stupid, okay, that they chose to have Rand's arc be, I'm in love with Egwene, and that's why I win at the end, okay? But at least be consistent with it.
Yep.
Okay, it's a bad idea because it's worse than the books, right? if the books don't exist, like I guess it makes sense. Sure, I know I'm being tricked because Egwene would never be nice to me. That was the character arc. I know this is not my Egwene because Egwene would never choose me. But they can't even stick with it. And they don't even explain because it's a time jump.
Yeah.
Just banging chicks
No,
and hanging out in a mental health facility. Because the Wheel of Time cares so much about people who have gone insane that they don't just, have an entire faction of the Aes Sedai hunt down and kill them.
Yep.
Rand is not smart enough for this plot. It's all Lanfear's doing. I hate it. I hate that. I hate everything about the show. It's
yeah. I mean,
in the books,
when Celine / Lanfear shows up, she just pops up for a while, aids Rand, gives him some advice, and
tempts him. She tempts him.
Tempts him. Yeah, she's always just like pushing him to
make choices.
To make choices to pushing him for greatness, right?
She wants to push him to desire power.
Right, exactly. That's her whole thing. But she's dark and mysterious. She shows up and then she disappears. And then all of a sudden in this one, she's there, just banging Rand the whole time.
Wait, it also makes no sense because, apparently she just gets lucky that Rand's because she's an innkeeper, so she's owned this inn for some amount of time, and Rand just stumbles across her location. Whereas, in the book, she hunts him down to find him, to manipulate him.
Yeah.
But she's stationary.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Stupid. So Rand. And then there's a bully who picks on one of the crazy guys, and then Rand goes and murders him in the street. We'll get there, but he beats the crap out of the guy in the street and leaves him for dead, and then the scene was supposed to illustrate the madness, right? Oh, that I know that's what they're going for. The channeling is making me go crazy, but he beats the guy to a bloody pulp first, and then almost kills him with the power.
Yeah,
and decides no, this is too far. Which means that Show Rand is just okay beating someone and leaving them for dead because they were mean. This, I do not know how it is physically possible for anyone to justify that this show is book accurate.
Yeah.
And there are some people still trying to do it on Twitter. Like, that is not Rand.
Yeah. They completely butcher his character.
Rand is sickened anytime injustice happens. Okay? Rand, my favorite part of the entire series.
Power.
Okay? Huh?
He's also terrified of using the power.
Yes.
He suppresses it. He does not want to use it because he doesn't want to hurt those he loves.
Okay? My favorite part of the entire series is Rand is such a prude that he ends up doing the deed with a chick because it's the classic, we have hypothermia, so we have to warm each other up, and then they bang. And he is so ashamed and concerned that he instantly proposes marriage for fear that he has disgraced this woman. And he says, I will marry you. I'm so sorry. And she says no because she has a different culture. And she's like, no, it's okay. We can sleep around. That's not part of my culture. But Rand is he's such a good guy.
Yeah.
That's what he's willing to do. And yet here he's just banging Celine, which is kind of the opposite of his character arc from the books, is him resisting temptation. And the show is him giving into temptation from the get-go. Rand is not a good character.
Right.
Show Rand is a bad person.
And it's intentional. 100% intentional on the part of the showrunners.
Good on you, Mark Clark. Tor was one of the greats, and now they are just disgusting. Yeah, their Twitter stuff is it's very gross.
Yep.
Bangs Celine and murders a dude, gets promoted, basically. Okay, so what's happening here? Oh, it's more. They're making Leandrin sympathetic, and a lot of people have guessed.
Gosh,
that the reason she has a kid is because she is a victim of sensual assault. And that's why she hates men so much.
Yep.
Even though she had a baby.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if that's the angle they're going with this.
Pira just came from an Angry Mexa video. Yeah, he's supposed to be on the show. He didn't text me and say he's late, but he's probably busy.
Yep.
And he's great, and he's been on the show religiously like every week. So we'll give him a week off. It's all good. Thanks for joining the stream, though.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Wheel of Time. If you didn't know, if you couldn't tell, it's garbage. It was the Starfield video. Yeah, I've heard he's not happy with Starfield. I don't think anyone is. Angry Mex is my homie. He's our resident Mexican intern. Yeah, the pronouns. I don't have time for video games. So if I'm going to play a video game, it's not going to be a woke one. Right? I barely have time to play the ones I want to get to.
Yeah.
Okay. So Leanne is sympathetic, and at the same time, she's just like holding a character hostage
for no reason.
I don't even know what they're going for with her in cahoots with Min.
I don't know.
I've thought about it for days now. I genuinely don't know where they're trying to go.
The only thing
why Min would be working with the Red Aja to get they're trying to get him to go somewhere.
I'm assuming it's to go to Rand and find out where he is, but that doesn't make a lick of sense because he ran away.
He wouldn't know. He would know. You know, maybe they're trying to get him to blow the horn. I doubt that Matt gets to blow the horn in this. It's going to be given to a woman.
Yeah, and that's a shame because that was one of the most surprising parts in the.
It's literally book 2 is my favorite book.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ever see people try to identify as emojis? Unfortunately, yes.
Yep. Yeah, so I don't know where they're going with half of these characters.
Yeah, generally, so I know I was asked that question, and I genuinely don't know what to think because I have no idea what direction they're trying to take Matt.
Yeah.
And then we meet Elaine. She's
fine.
Oh, she's okay.
Yeah.
She's fine, I guess. Other than the fact that I hate that she's had 6 summer internships at the White Tower. It's silly.
Didn't catch that.
She's like, yeah, I've spent the last 6 summers here. I would know the White Tower like the back of my hand.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't add anything. And I don't know why it's there, and it's a little bit silly because I mean her kingdom is kind of supposed to be on the verge of disavowing all of the Aes Sedai altogether. Like Elida is like the only link.
Yeah.
And they're kind of just looking for an excuse to break ties with the White Tower. So it doesn't make sense. But, you know, Rafe knows better than Robert Jordan, so.
Yeah. This introduction was fine. She's all right.
At least she has red hair. Unlike some characters who should definitely have I would have been okay if they didn't give Elaine red hair, okay? Of all the characters that, like, it's mentioned, and there is, like, a slight bloodline connection, okay? But it's not nearly as important as Avienda having red hair.
Yep.
Hey, I didn't want to interrupt you guys too much, but I'm going to peace out
Okay.
here, so I figured I'd just...
He's out. You
Toss
got
it
in.
in
You
for
got
the
in one good
goodbye.
singer.
Yeah. Got one in there. Every now and then I'll get one.
You know
All
what?
right, have a good one, you guys.
Go-
Enjoy the rest
go-
of
you
the...
know,
I
the
wouldn't.
complaints.
I normally wouldn't force you to watch season 1, but since you enjoy Ahsoka, I think you need to watch season 1.
You need to punish me by making me watch season
I think so. I think you need to watch season 1.
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to think about it. See
Look,
if I can get myself
apparently you
to-
like bad television, okay?
right? Hey, and if I don't have the books to go against, that
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. If you don't know the books, I mean, season 1 was kind of a convoluted mess, but these 3 episodes of this one, I mean, at least they're competent. They're not the books, but
better than Rings of Power, huh?
oh yeah,
Oh, Rings of Power. Rings of Power is a worse TV show, but this is a worse adaptation.
absolutely.
No.
That's yes.
This is a nefarious adaptation.
Oof.
I think it is more I don't think that this show is competently made. I think it's more competently made than Rings of Power.
Which isn't saying much,
Right.
but
No.
and Nerdporial, put a link in the chat or something like that, and I'll try to grab it before
Yeah.
we get out of here.
Oh man.
All right, see you
Yeah.
guys.
All right.
Okay.
Bye, Jared.
More.
Yeah,
Stuff.
that's the discussion of who's going to train
I don't
Nynaeve.
care. Okay, they're discussing whether or not they wanted to test her, and apparently it was Leandrin who convinced her to do the testing.
Yeah,
If you're gonna do a sneaky sneak, close the door behind you,
exactly right.
okay?
And then her shoes are
Because
so loud going
because the
down.
person who you're following is gonna come back and then see that you left the door open,
Yep.
and then know that they were followed. Okay, this is like you don't even have to be like from the Thieves Guild to know you should close the door behind you, right? That's the first. I was like, why is she leaving it open? Why is she leaving it open?
Yep.
It's not exactly like you don't have to be smart to know you should close the door, but apparently everyone on the show is a moron. Baba Booey. Oh, she sees. Oh, she was talking to her son. I guess that comes later. She was talking to her son. Because Leandrin, of all characters, is one we want to make sympathetic. And then is this where the Shan-Chan show up? Just out of nowhere? This was just more
after
talking.
They go to bed. Yeah, they wake up.
There was just more talking, some lanterns, more talking. Goodness gracious, nothing happens in this show. Rand is checking out another chick. Oh, this is where Rand beats the guy and leaves him for dead.
Right.
And then more Elaine, more talking. Leandrin poisoning her little baby boy. Blah, blah, blah. I hate her acting. I think it's terrible. Blah, 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 blah. I just don't care. But and then she talks to Min, and this is all an elaborate ruse because they knew that he would bore through the wall to talk. There's just so many. How is this their plan? What is their plan? How is that the plan? How did it work? I
thought this part was charming until the reveal that Min was working for Leandrin the whole time.
Yeah,
Like,
it doesn't make sense.
You know, I mean, I hate what they're doing to Matt, but at least they're. I don't know.
I also hate that this is what we get for Min.
Yeah.
Like a middle-aged divorced woman. Goodness, there is so little good about this show.
Yeah. Like I said, the only thing I like
more talking.
The only thing I think they did decently well is the White Tower stuff with Egwene and Nynaeve. We can get to that later.
More talking, more Rand having sex. Leandrin, I mean, spoilers, Celine Lanphier literally getting what she wants instead of being spurned by Rand.
Yep.
Drinking homemade toilet wine. What is this show? Like, what's the point of this? I get you have to cut material from the books. There's 15 books. That's a lot. But that's not what they're doing. They're literally just writing their own thing.
Yep.
Because they think they're better than Robert Jordan. Like, you literally, like, the fact that there are writers on the show is a joke. You don't need writers to adapt the Wheel of Time. You need editors. Literally, just take the books, cut. You're gonna have to cut a lot of stuff out and squish the rest together. Like you.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones. The reason why the first couple seasons of Game of Thrones are so good is they're literally just pulling straight from the books. And the reason why the last seasons of Game of Thrones are so good is because
not so good.
They're not good writers. Yeah. They didn't have books to pull from. And they just, we're just going to do this, I guess. They knew where we were supposed to go. So they knew what was supposed to happen. They didn't know how to get there because they were bad writers. They were fantastic editors. Like, Game of Thrones is incredibly faithful to the books. The only caveat being they had to cut a lot of material. They cut out a lot of the magic and a lot of the fantastical stuff. But they didn't just add in new crap.
Yep.
It was all cuts, and what was left was just the best parts of the books that told the most cohesive story.
Yeah.
Right. Imagine if they did not do that in Game of Thrones. Exactly. No one would have liked Game of Thrones. Because no one liked season 8 when the writers had jobs.
Yep.
Toilet wine. Let's put that in. Because she can ferment it with the channeling. It goes faster. Who gives a... Why? Look, it's not a bad scene. It's just unnecessary.
Right.
Why? Drinking. We're friends now, and we're literally doing a CW drama. Oh, I heard through the door that they were talking about me, and now I'm sad. Ugh. This is what the Wheel of Time has been reduced to.
Yep.
Badly written CW romance bullcrap. They literally do the thing where she says, Nynaeve is my best friend ever and I love her so much. But if there was one thing I could change, Nynaeve shows up and hears the rest of the conversation.
Yep.
And then leaves. But all of that says mean things. She leaves. But all of that doesn't matter because I just love her so much. She's so supportive. She doesn't. It's so cliche and retarded. Literally, we have 3 hours of footage here. There was one fight scene with Murdral. Right? Is that the only thing that happened?
Action-wise?
The rest has literally just been talking.
Yeah.
We're an hour and 49 minutes in.
Well, no.
Now, granted, there's
Nynaeve trained with some warders. There's a little bit of action.
Oh, yeah. Nynaeve got to do sword fighting against 2 warders at a time.
Yeah. That was pretty dumb.
That's the scene. That's the best. Everyone's favorite scene from all of the books is Matt fighting Gawain and Galad.
Yeah,
taking on 2 swords.
Characters out.
Well, they can't. Well, they're supposed to be, or at least one of them is supposed to be in this season, but Matt's already gone.
Yeah.
So, and Rafe Judkins said, "I will adapt that scene, but I'm going to do it in a way that's more believable."
Whatever
that's a direct quote.
Yeah.
I would rather watch Dawson's Creek. Honestly, I haven't watched it, but if it's better than this, I'll give it a shot. Okay, at least the women were hot. Yeah, there you go. That's the thing. Like, watch a Super Mario. You do you. You do you.
Good on you, bro.
Super horny, oh brother. Oh gosh. Okay, so talk. Okay.
And leading up
This
to
is the
arc.
one time in the show where it's almost directly quoting the book.
Yes.
But even then, they have to insert their own little just crap that's like, why do you do that? And they can't even do the line, the way back will come but once. They said it like 15 times, and they didn't, not once did they finish the line, be steadfast. Okay? It wouldn't take any more time, but it's just, and it's a symptom. It's a symptom, which is telling of how arrogant these writers are. And we're going to cut that line because we can. There's no reason to not finish the line. No, they never say be steadfast.
Yeah, you're right.
The way back comes but once, be steadfast. It's like one of the most whatever. And apparently, the way back doesn't come but once. It comes but twice. Because Nynaeve fails the testing.
Well, yeah, I don't know how you feel about that, but I thought reading the books, the tests were great, and I loved Nynaeve going through the tests, and then Egwene goes through the tests, and it's just kind of more the same.
Yeah.
Until the end, when things go wrong, they have to pull her out or whatever. But I thought this was the one smart decision that I think they did change from the books, is to kind of merge their two experiences. I thought that was a smart choice.
What do you mean? Egwene didn't go through the things yet.
I know, not yet. But they kind of implemented. I don't think they're going to show Egwene going through the arches, because they kind of.
She's the main character of the show. There's a better chance of that happening than getting any scene with Rand.
Yeah. I don't know. It seemed to me like they were kind of combining the experiences of Egwene and Nynaeve in this arch experience or whatever. But I don't know. They'll probably put it in because Rafe hates men, and so he'll give more screen time to Egwene. And the visions that she has are kind of important and specific to her character. Sean can show up, whatever. Who gives? Yeah, I do like the bug masks, but the big pieces we'll get to later are they can't in the trailers, and they're dumb here too.
They can't even give Perrin an axe.
Yeah.
Instead, he picks up a baseball bat.
Yep. After being dragged around by his heels like 3 times in this episode and the next episode.
Oh my god! Yeah, he does. He doesn't even get to participate in the fight scene.
Yeah,
because he gets dragged. Yeah,
he's dragged around by his heels, and then he grabs.
He body slams one of them, and then hits one on the back a couple times with a stick, and then he gets dragged into the water, and then the Binky ladies show up. The pacifier sisters.
Yeah.
So retarded.
Yeah, this design is so stupid. And the only thing I can think that the reason why they're not doing the collars and the chains is to subvert expectations, because there's nothing in this scene that shows that these people are subservient.
Yeah,
right?
No. Exactly.
That's the only thing. That's why they made the change.
Rick said it.
Reveal. Oh, these people are enslaved.
We took out the chains because chains are problematic. Because slavery. This is slavery.
Do you think they're not going to be
so bad things?
Do you think they're not?
They're bad people. What?
Do you think they're not going to be slaves in here then?
No, but they're not. They can't show chains because black people.
Oh. Yeah. Stupid. Looks dumb. Stupid. Yeah.
Girl power characters. You're asking about the books. The book has really, really great female characters.
Yeah.
But it also has awesome male characters.
But they're not insufferable.
It's not girl power. There are moments where the girls are prideful. Yeah, and they look down on the men, and but the book is telling you they're being stupid right now.
Right.
It doesn't congratulate them. It shows that they're wrong for being prideful. And there's a great moment at the end of the books where Egwene gets massively humbled by Rand because she treats him like a child. And she's like, oh, I'm being a child. Great. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the books are fantastic. Read the books. I also hate over-the-top female girl power characters. The books is a prime example of how to do strong female characters right. It's fantastic.
Yep.
And the shows just didn't understand that. So we get binky ladies who don't have chains because that's problematic. And then, is this episode 3 already? Oh my god!
No, this is the end, I think. Oh,
Did they kill off?
I hate that the speaker lady's stupid face thing too.
Yeah, it looks ridiculous. Everything
like
about this.
The Empress is fine. I think the soldiers are fine, but the binkies are stupid, and that speaker lady next to the Empress is just.
Some of the soldiers, I'm with you, and that the soldiers' helmets look good.
Yeah.
In some scenes, there are some where they're more decorative and they're like painted, and it looks so silly. It looks ridiculous. But I don't hate the design of like the grunt Shan-Chan soldiers.
Right.
I hate the design of the Damani or the what's the
the Damani.
No, the Damani are the slaves. What's the name of the people who do the channeling? It's at the IDOM, which is what they use to control the Damani. Salami. It's the salami. That's what it is. Lady Balefire, bail me out, please.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to Google it. Whatever. Their stupid face paint it looks retarded.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks cheaper than Xena Warrior Princess. Yeah, it does. Suldam. Thank you.
Right. Yep.
The Suldam. I hate this show. He looks even sillier than he did in the season 1 finale. Yeah, yep. Suldam controlled the money. Rand. Oh, you're right.
This is still episode 2.
It's still episode 2.
Yeah,
it ends with Logain.
That's why they're in the crazy house.
Yet again, the last time we saw Logain, they were saying, we're going to keep you here in the White Tower forever and torture you every day because we're the bad guys.
Yep.
Cut to season 2, he's not in the White Tower. I don't get it. Nothing in this show makes sense.
For some reason.
Also, Logain kind of needs to be in the White Tower for certain things that happen, I believe, in book 4, which will be next season. Is it book 4? I think so.
I haven't gotten there yet, so it's probably book 4.
There's kind of very important stuff where Logain needs to be in the White Tower for.
Yeah.
Season episode 3. Remember that time where Logain was sad? Oh, who gives a crap? Okay, testing. So the cold open is 40 minutes long, and it's Nynaeve's testing,
which I thought was really well done, actually.
I disagree. She's supposed to be naked. Okay, the one time where you could show nudity and you don't. You desexualize it. It was never sexualized in the book. It's just it's supposed to be like humiliating, right?
Right.
You go in with nothing. It's not humiliating. It's supposed to be humbling. Humiliating is the wrong word. Okay, but we can't show. I mean, we can't.
Yeah.
This show hates men so much. We don't even like. Can't even watch it for Dawson's Creek because the women aren't even hot.
Yeah.
Okay, so she goes through the channel, whatever. Who gives a crap? Whatever. She goes through this scene. I hate.
What did you hate about it? I thought it was fine.
It's not from the books. Okay.
It's
Her first no. It's
similar to what
Shut
happened.
up.
They're chasing her, not
No.
her family.
Her first test, she's running through a maze.
And there's
And
someone
she's
that's
confronted by a
after her.
Forsaken. She's confronted by a Forsaken, and she channels
Right.
inside the arches, and they're like, holy crap, that was super dangerous. You're not supposed to be able to channel. But it's crazy because the show loves Nynaeve. They love showing how powerful Nynaeve is. And the one time it would have been book accurate to do so, they cut.
Yeah, I think it's because they were saving it for the third time, which is the reason why it opened again.
So they just have random people attacking the two rivers. I guess she technically lived outside the two rivers. She's a transplant. But like violence doesn't happen in the two rivers area, which is why it's so surprising when it does in book one. But apparently there's just gangs that go around murdering people for no reason because the show wants to be edgy. And she has to abandon her family because the way back comes but once, except sometimes it comes but twice. Blah, 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 blah. This one is book accurate. It's good. It's fine, except whatever. Except they have Matt's mom just being awful. Who gives a crap?
Yeah. No, but it was good though. It plays into her, trauma of, hey, you just abandoned us.
And they couldn't even get this scene right, as accurate as it is. The reason she thinks she has the option to stay is because she can channel. And she could save them if she stayed.
Yeah.
But the way back comes but once, and she has to choose to leave.
That's a good
By
point.
by taking that away, this scene becomes useless.
Yeah. They do
If
kind
she stayed, they still would have died.
they do kind of play it with, oh, this is information I have that, there's I know that there's a plague going on in the two rivers, or I think there's a plague, so we need to go out and help them. But yeah, you're right. Yeah.
What's the point of the whole scene?
Yeah, no, you're right.
What's the point of it? She's
But-
supposed to think that if she stays, she can make a difference. It's the temptation to abandon responsibility.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
For White Tower Fealty, whatever. These boys look silly. Blah blah blah. Way back onto one side. Blah 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 blah. Okay, now I'm gonna go in, and it's a fake out. I don't. She's in a red. She's a red oddjaw. Oh, because she's gonna choose that. That could happen in the books. I don't know. And he was kind of a terrible person in the show, so maybe she does choose it. Who gives a crap? Blah 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 blah. She comes out. I don't remember what happened. Turns out this is still the testing. They do a fake out 3 times. I'm covered in blood. Did I kill someone? Oh no! It turns out I'm still in the dream land. I have to go to land. I have to go talk to him, and he shows up. I don't. Oh, she says goodbye.
Yeah.
And just like lives a whole life, has babies, and then the way back comes a little bit later. And they show Leandrin being legitimately concerned and upset for her.
Yeah.
Why do you want to make Leandrin sympathetic?
Yeah, that I didn't understand.
It's because these sick people don't believe in good and evil.
You're right.
They created an entire metaphor for pedophilia with the Dark Friend Social.
Yeah.
So, of course, they're going to make Leandrin sympathetic. Yeah. Yeah, I'm tempted to write a book series where everyone's white and the magic doesn't work if you're not white, just to see someone try to adapt it.
Yeah.
You can only do magic if you're white and if you're a man. And just like it'll be a bad book, but you know that like Hollywood would be like, oh, we got to adapt this so we can change it, you know? It'll just be the stupidest thing ever. And then like I'll put in traps. I'll put in traps where like if you change the adaptation, like nothing works. I'm tempted to do it.
There you go.
I'm gonna make America explode. Probably, I hope so. Okay, and then you get a cold open. Oh, and then we get Uno dying.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Freaking A.
Okay, here we go. This does not work. See, I think those actually look pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's when they're painted that they look stupid. I like that for the Shan-Chan. Some people don't. It's fine. I think we need to pick our complaints and complain about actually bad things. But those don't look bad to me.
Like Uno freaking dying.
Okay. Uno. Here's the thing. David, what is the point of killing Uno off?
I can't think of one.
Okay.
I legit cannot think of one other than to just spit in the face of book readers, killing off a fan favorite side character.
Okay. You're not a book reader. Okay? You just watch the show. Wow, this is a cool fantasy show. I know nothing about the books. What purpose does killing Uno off in this scene serve?
Absolutely none.
Because
one, we were just introduced to this character.
Exactly! He has 3 spoken lines!
Yeah.
It works in Game of Thrones, season 1, when they kill off the main character because you love him.
Yeah.
When Game of Thrones kills people off, it's devastating because you know the characters and you're attached to them, and then they're ripped from your hands.
This is only devastating to the book readers because
because the book readers love Uno.
Exactly.
Uno, spoilers, never dies, lives throughout all 15 books.
And he's a awesome character. When
14
he
books.
showed up, and I love his look here too. They did a really good casting on him.
Yeah, he looks
showed
great.
up, and I told my wife Martina, I said, "This guy's awesome. Uno is so cool."
Yes.
And he
Shock value.
dies.
Okay, shock value.
Yeah.
Would have worked if the audience knew who this was.
Yeah.
They don't. He has 3 spoken lines. If you're gonna I get you want to show these villains are scary and they're a threat. But just killing off a random dude that the audience doesn't know isn't scary.
Yep.
You're not attached to him. The only people attached to this character are the book readers because he is literally a fan favorite. Exactly. I would gather 90% of people have asked who's your favorite secondary character. If you rule out the main characters if your answer isn't Matt, you're stupid. Okay. But if you rule out the main characters and you ask who's your favorite, who's one of the best side characters, Uno is probably 70% of the picks.
He's awesome.
So the only purpose this serves is to either shock or just deliberately piss off book readers.
100%.
Just to tell book readers, hey, anyone can die. Or to just piss in their face and tell them it's raining. Piss in their mouth and tell them it's raining.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it was done. There's no other reason for it.
It could have been good, right? Like, I get it. He is a fan favorite. And his character doesn't have a lot of sway over the plot of the overarching series.
Right.
So if you wanted, it's not a choice that I would make. I would just adapt the books. Okay. But if you wanted to be edgy and to shock people and show them the Shan are dangerous, develop Uno. Make him a character that people care about and then kill him off.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't change this. I would hate it, but it wouldn't change this. But it would be better than this.
Yeah.
Also, it's so poorly executed. It's so bad. I cannot assign any other motive other than malice.
Yeah. 100%. This was just spitting in the book reader's face, saying, "Hey, we can do what the hell we want with these characters."
Yeah, there are.
But also, it doesn't make sense, too, because you have all these other people. They're clearly outnumbered. They're clearly not in a position to bargain. And he's just like, no. It's so out of character.
And also the Shan knew to pick him.
Yeah.
For reasons.
Yeah.
Because they knew because they wanted to set an example, but they needed someone who would be defiant. And I guess the Shan knew more about the character than the watchers, right? Yeah,
it's so stupid.
If you showed him being defiant,
yeah.
Oh my gosh! But apparently, Daniel Green said episode 3 was the best one. So.
Oh dear.
I mean, he did say on Twitter he criticized the first episode, and people got mad at him. Show freaks. But he immediately backtracked a lot of his statements. It was like, oh, but yeah, but I said it's not my favorite, but I didn't say I hated it.
Oh my gosh.
Stupid. Also, just a dumb. Why is there a horn there? It's just, what does that have to do with the Shan? I don't understand. It's visual, I guess, but they're insect-like. I guess insects have.
Those are the
horns.
ones you don't like.
These ones are more silly, but there's some that are painted and they look ridiculous. It was in the promo images. It might be next episode. Who knows? Gosh, that face.
Yeah, her right-hand speaker lady is so stupid.
Oh. Oh, man. Yeah, the throne looks goofy. The dress is good. The fingernails and the shoulder head stuff is stupid. The dress honestly looks pretty cool. I think that's a nice dress.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, too, the mask is weird, but it's kind of intimidating.
Yes, you're supposed to take them seriously.
Yeah.
As you would note that they're killing a character off to make sure that you take them seriously.
Yep.
So, anyway, I don't want to bow. Oh, no, we're all going to bow because we don't want to be unoed. We don't want to be onoed. So stupid. Where does it? I don't know. I don't want to show this still. I hate it.
Yep.
Skip. All right, tell me how to channel. Who gives a crap? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, this. Okay. Another instance of these people don't understand the books. The reason why Logain recognized Rand is not because boys can see boys, David. Women can see women channeling. Men can't. Okay? Logain had a gift. There's lots of different gifts that don't have to do with channeling. Okay? Perrin has wolf powers. Matt has luck powers. Logain can see Taviran. That's why he can see Rand.
Oh.
It's not that all men who channel can glow. No, he knows who's Taviran and who's not. Mark Clark, thanks for the $5. This is why I super chat you,
But
so
again,
I don't have to watch it.
Going back to the Taviran, that was never a concept that they explained
I know.
at all in the first series. They just said, hey, there's some Taviran there. And they don't explain what that is.
Also, this looks really silly. And you notice they had to completely change the shot because this is not how it happened in season 1 because it was focused on Matt.
Yeah.
They were trying to imply that Matt was the dragon. Rand wasn't even in the shot. And it looks silly. Okay, blah, 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 blah. I don't think there's anything. Oh, they show a real Gleeman. And I think that cloak looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they couldn't even give Tom a Gleeman's cloak. They had him sew patches into it. Gosh. So this is 3 hours of footage, so every time I skip forward, it jumps too far.
Yeah.
Oh, so stupid. But the other episodes will be easier to skip through because it'll
just be one at a time.
It'll be a whole timeline bar of just 1 hour footage. More banging. Blah blah blah. More
all this stuff is so
sex.
boring.
And they're leaning into him being a violent lover too. It's
yeah. Oh yeah, that whole sex scene with the using the power and stuff, that was so dumb.
It also doesn't we'll get to it later, but it doesn't make sense. They were banging and then he went to go sleep in a different bed and then woke up and channeled again. I don't know what they're trying to do. It doesn't make sense. Blah blah blah. Where's Nynaeve? Oh, she's dead.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Really drawing out the tension on this one.
There's nothing happened in this show. Oh, I'm going to let you go because I'm sad that I should have. I was paying attention to you instead of training Nynaeve, and so she's dead now. Yeah. Even though I hate her character from the books.
Yeah, this motivation for suddenly wanting to let Matt go had made no sense.
Yeah, sorry. I did. I tried to turn away from the microphone. Sorry about your ears. I've been coughing all stream. They melt down the rings for reasons.
And she threatens her.
Threatens to push her off the tower. And then we get this scene,
is this was the one scene that kind of has a parallel in the books.
Kind of. It's the concept of Deus de Mar, exactly. Right, where everything means a whole bunch of things. Kind of.
Yeah, but it was so awkward and yeah. But it was the one semblance of book Matt in this show so far.
Of Book Rand, you mean?
Book Rand, yeah. I'm always saying Matt when I mean Rand.
And his okay.
And yeah, and then he has the heron cloak for some reason.
It does I will say his jacket here does look like his dragon jacket from the books from one of the covers. So I liked
explain why he has it.
Exactly. Well, it's herons, but
right.
I liked seeing that on him in this scene. I was like, oh, that kind of looks like that one cover from the books.
Right.
Whatever. A small concession. But the scene was stupid. Yep. And there's a midget for reasons. And apparently this is Moraine's sister.
That's Moraine's sister?
Or something. That's what people said on Twitter. I don't care.
Okay.
Blah, blah.
The whole scene was really dumb, and Lanfear was very awkward in it. I don't know.
And out of context, and I don't think they're going to come back to it. And so, it's out of place. It's out of time. And it doesn't add anything at this point in the story.
The last scene, you saw them running through this poor part of town, and then all of a sudden it's here. I'm like, wait, did we miss something?
Right. It's supposed to take place when Moraine is forcing him to take responsibility, right? He wants to not be the dragon.
Right.
And not have anyone know. And Moraine keeps burning his clothes and forcing him to dress up and act like a noble so that
Yep.
people like it's hilarious in the books. She keeps manipulating him and shoving him into situations where he has to play Deus Damar.
Yeah,
Um,
it's great.
and it just doesn't do anything here. It doesn't add anything.
Yep. It doesn't explain the stakes either. They're just kind of there. Yeah, it was a really weird random scene. But like I said, only part that vaguely resembles the books, and it's completely out of place.
Yep. It doesn't serve anything. It doesn't. Whatever. More talking. The whole reason he went to the party is so that he could get wine to give to Logain.
Yeah.
So Logain would tell him more of his story, and then Logain spills the wine. I just don't. What is any of this?
So stupid.
And then Matt
Oh, yeah. I freaking.
abandoned his friends
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, I threw a pillow at the TV at this scene. It made me.
Every single shill who said the only reason that that Matt had to abandon his friends in season 1 is because they lost the actor. They couldn't do anything about it, so they had to do reshoots, and so that's why. Don't worry, Matt's character is going to be more faithful in season 2, and so the only reason that he abandoned his friends is because they lost the actor. Newsflash: they fired the actor. So shut up. And if that were the case, they wouldn't do it again in season 2.
Well, see, now they've got to be consistent, though, right? He abandoned his friends in season 1, so it would be totally out of character for him to just, suddenly be there for his friends like he is in the books.
He'll be gone!
Yeah, it pissed me off.
Blah blah blah. Min's working for the bad guys. Shamael is chatting up Perrin. I don't even remember this conversation because it didn't add anything. Whatever. He was saying
Find out about his wolfy power.
Remember, it ended with him saying, "Give in to the wolf, because if you then I will have more power over you."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
What?
Yeah. The more
This show is just
wolf you are, the more
unrecognizable.
the more I have you, or something. Yeah.
I don't even remember. I'll have to refresh myself. In fact, I think I remember that most of the Forsaken didn't even know that wolf powers were a thing.
Nobody knows.
There were a couple that I remember rumors of that, but that's a power that I haven't seen in years.
Not even
no
the
one
Aes Sedai.
understands.
They don't.
No, the
understand.
so the whole thing is Perrin and Elias. Well, Elias's thing is that he hides from the White Tower because he doesn't want them to think that he's a channeler because it's a different thing. So no one knows what these wolf powers are.
Right.
Even the Dark doesn't know. I mean, I think there might have been like a couple Forsaken who's like, "Oh, I know a little bit about this," right?
Yeah.
But apparently,
largely
Shamael
unknown.
just knows everything, and if he uses the wolf powers, he will be able to control him.
Something like that.
I don't understand. I literally think it's literal. The ending of season 1 where Padan Fain says, "Some of you may even turn to the dark." I think they're one of the either Perrin or Matt is going to
Or
be
both.
a bad is going
Or
to be a
both,
bad or
yeah.
both is going to be a bad guy. I don't know why they would do this.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Martina, I didn't read the books and this confused me, and I thought maybe it would be explained if you read the books, but no, it's just a stupid show. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, trust me, I read the books. I don't know what's going on either.
Yeah. Most
And
of
they
this is
escape
completely
more
divorced from the
binkies.
books.
This design is so dumb. It looks so silly.
But
Why do they have
also, it's
binkies? If you're
not
going to
even-
do it, put them in muzzles. Treat
Yeah.
them like animals.
But then the other slaver, is just walking behind her, not doing anything. It's just
Well, they have to shout out. They have to shout out commands. They go ha chu ta ta choy.
Yeah,
And then they channel.
it's just weird.
Okay, Min's
They
working
steal some
for
stuff.
the bad guys. Who cares? Oh, and then they have angry sex where they
Well,
choke
then
each
there's
other.
the weird.
Okay,
sex.
right. This doesn't make sense. So she's like, channel while you bang me. Right? Oh yeah, channel while we have sex. And then this edit just makes no sense. I don't know what's going on. Okay.
And she's not supposed to be able to see him channeling too, right? Not even
No.
the Forsaken.
No.
Yeah.
Girls don't know when men are channeling. Rand is able to tell when women are channeling. I don't know if that's all men can see women channeling. I think it might be like one of Rand's like extra gifts. I will have to refresh. Oh,
Yeah.
bang me, and then I'm in different clothes in a different bed, also channeling, and then I light the house on fire.
Yeah, it was really weird.
I don't know what's happening. I'm so confused.
I think it's meant to imply that he's done that several times now, and now this is a different time and it gets out of control or something. I mean,
in book one, when
weird.
Rand first starts channeling, there are like purposeful inconsistencies in the timeline. Like it jumps around because he has channeling sickness and he's kind of losing track of himself. That might be what they're trying to do here, but it's confusing to the audience too. Like it's the weirdest cut.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're trying to imply.
Yeah,
so he
it was
burns
weird.
down his lover's apartment. Yeah. So burn. It's okay. We can still bang in the barn. And then they try and channel Nynaeve out, and they can't do it. And then, the way back comes twice after all these people, after everyone's dead, right? When the decision to leave is easy.
Yeah.
It seems like you would run for the exit if you knew it was a dream. This isn't a dream in which you would want to stay.
Right. The only way
It's not a challenge.
The only way a scene like this could work is if everyone's dead. She does her burst of powers, they're gone, and then the daughter is there, and she said, the daughter's scared. And like, don't worry, I'm here. I will never leave you. And then it appears.
Right. Or if she's the only one that can save them, but she has to choose to leave.
Right.
But now everyone's dead, and I'm going to channel after everyone's dead, not help anybody. Then my girl's still alive, and I'm going to try and take her through the arches because the way back comes but twice. Apparently her channeling right there.
Open the gate.
She opens the gate herself.
Yep.
From the inside.
Yeah.
See, that's not a bad idea either, of carrying her child through and then having her child be gone.
Right.
I like that. That's semi-consistent with what her testing put her through. It's not a bad visual. It's just everything else about the scene is retarded.
Yeah, I agree.
She's so powerful. She opened the gate from the inside. Oh, you're alive, and that's it. I hate this so much.
Yeah.
There is nothing redeemable about this show.
Like I said, if you don't know the books at all and you're coming and you're just watching it, it seems competently done. It's so divorced from the books and they're just spitting in your face.
Mm-hmm. Even then, though, like the story
readers.
is confusing. for non-book readers too.
Yeah, I mean,
more so than one. Like season 1 was like, okay, you can follow the story until the last episode. You're like,
right.
What is going on? Like that's what most people, like most non-book readers, like. I can understand liking season 1 because it has a beginning and an end.
Right.
I think season 2 is less competently made than season 1. You can tell there's a little bit more money, and the effects, the special effects are better.
Yeah,
but the story's worse. Yeah, even having read the books, I don't know who any of the characters are. I don't know what stories happen. There is no story going on.
Yeah.
What do you mean it's competent, David?
I'm saying as far as acting goes, as far as special effects goes,
okay.
and I think still the story is still more competent than Rings of Power or Willow. Or,
okay, sure, but
Boba Fett, right?
Slightly, yeah,
right. So,
but to call it competent, you could say more competent.
Yes,
but to call it competent, this is embarrassing. Everyone who worked on this should be fired.
Yeah.
Especially
has no semblance
people
to the source material. It is a shame.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of glad because I started the series. I watched the first. I read the first 3 books, and I forced myself to stop because I wanted to have the books 2 and 3 fresh in my mind.
Right.
Now I don't care. I'm going to finish the series.
Good. Yeah. I'm doing it because I've already read the series, so I'm going to keep up with the show. But we skipped one of the stupidest scenes was the 3-way. It just because it skips too fast. Sorry. So but Egwene walks in on Alana banging 2 dudes, and then gets sexually harassed when she asks for help because she asks, how do you focus on 2 things at once? Oh, well, when I'm banging 2 men, I just go with the flow and I focus on myself. And when I feel good, then it feels good. And you're like, you're talking to a child.
Yeah, it was very awkward.
That scene was so cringy. I think that's when, no, Stephanie stayed for a little bit longer. But like, that was legitimately like the worst part for me, that scene.
Yeah.
The sexual harassment scene. And it's being used as marketing material, everybody.
Yep.
Banging 2 dudes at once. Oh no, I was talking about channeling. See, it's a parallel. It's a beautiful parallel. They're talking about channeling and sex. They're talking about both things. It's a metaphor, guys. Yeah, it's a metaphor for a badly written story.
Yep.
This is it.
You have to teach him the birds and the bees somehow.
But when you lie and say, yeah, sorry, we don't have 15 seasons of television, so we obviously have to cut a lot from the books. Yeah. And then you write this. And I knew, I was sitting down watching it with Stephanie, and I paused it, and I was like, the arrogance is oozing from the screen. I was like, you can tell they were really proud of this scene.
Yeah.
You can literally hear the writers giving each other's high fives.
Yeah. In
this scene. And she's like, yeah, like it's so arrogant. They're like, and then the next day I saw this and I was like, yep, they're real proud of this scene.
It gives me flashbacks to that pre-script that Rafe Judkins put out about it was a porno fan fiction treatment for season 1. That's what this scene was. And the scenes with Rand and Celine as well, but yeah.
Anyway, these are all bad takes. If we want to do them, we could save some.
Let's do them real quick. Okay. Unless you want to save them for next week when we got Jared here.
I might save some of them. Okay, but here we go. Here's the bad.
Screen rants. Bad takes.
Surprise, surprise. Screen Rant actually had 2 good takes this week.
Yeah, I know.
The Wheel of Time fantasy series fumbles an adaptation of book 2. Holy crap. Wow, 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 wow. That's insane. And at the same time, they said Nynaeve's twist breaks rules from the books that don't make sense. Holy crap. Promote these writers. I don't know why you don't have more people like this with jobs, but in the same week publishing this article,
Yep.
The Wheel of Time's low game change makes Rand's Dragon Reborn story even better.
Yep.
Anyway,
I
was shocked.
Interesting that the Screen Rant had.
I was shocked to see this from Screen Rant. Yeah,
criticizing it, and on the week of the premieres, right?
Yeah,
usually they suppress the bad,
This
criticisms, the bad press.
This
until-
came out right before the show, and then these came out the same week.
Yeah.
Wow. So that's gross, but I gotta play the stinger for these two.
Screen Rants. Good takes?
Congratulations, Screen Rat. You have 2 competent people. Wait, is it the same person? I didn't even check. No, it's 2 different people. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then you get shills like this.
Yep.
The biggest changes saved the show. I didn't read this article though. You sent it to me.
Yeah. So it
because it doesn't make sense when I
Marine.
skimmed it, it was like the actor was saying, "This is not what I signed up for."
Yeah.
But
So
somehow that means it's better.
The article is very confusing. I think it's mostly talking about Moraine. Yeah, being
She
cut
gets
off from the
cut
source.
off from the source,
That was problematic.
which
because
does not make the show better. It's
it doesn't-
stupid,
Yeah, exactly. But
it turned out it was fun.
yeah, exactly.
Why does that make it better?
Good question. They don't answer it in this article.
It was fun to try different things. Okay, different doesn't mean better.
Yep.
I agree that it's different.
There's also
I didn't want to see different. I wanted to see the Wheel of Time.
Exactly. Yeah, she said sometimes the scenes that we were filming were very traumatic, and so we just have to we're yelling at each other and screaming at each other, and then we'd have to make sure to hug it out at the end because we're still friends.
How does that make the show better than the books?
It doesn't answer any of that. That's just a statement in the title of the article.
You've seen Rafe, right? Saying, "Oh, I didn't even play it here. Here's the little teaser for the Devoid of Logic video."
I know there's the crazies, but it's something like 70% of people who've read all 14 books think the show is as good or better than the books.
Where'd you get that statistic? Your mother.
Better than the books, which is a crazy number.
It's not made up. It's not made.
Well done.
70% of the people who've read all of the books think that the show is as good or better than the books.
Bullcrap.
Bullcrap.
Yeah.
Who? I know there's some crazies on Twitter still defending it, but
yeah.
Like this guy saying show Matt is better than the books. Whatever. I don't want to get into that one. All right. Here's some more bad takes. Sabine becoming Jedi doesn't break canon, it restores it. I didn't read this one. You sent it to me. I don't care.
Yeah, this one pisses me off because it's my main criticism with Ahsoka and with all these other things, saying that there's Jedi and there's other Force sensitive people during the original trilogy, and it's saying, oh, it's restoring it because of The Last Jedi, where it was implied that anyone could have the Force.
Cool. Don't care. Yeah. Anyway, did you see this?
I didn't.
Proof that age is just a number.
What? I do not understand.
It's pedophilia. That's what pedophiles say.
Yeah, no.
Oh, you get it? So David, pedophilia is when
I understand.
Okay.
I understand your criticism. I don't understand what.
This is promotional material. It's proof that age is just a number, and the proof is fictional fantasy characters that we made up who are old.
Yeah.
Okay. Why does that mean that age is just a number? I get that it is a number, but it's also a lot more than that. It's a number with ramifications.
Yeah. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I don't know what their angle is on that.
I
mean,
think the angle is very clear.
I mean, yeah, obviously, but
even wackos are saying the phrasing is bad.
Yeah. I don't understand. There's no other way you can take it. I don't understand why they posted this.
I'm saying this is why these people are so bad at adaptation. They don't know good from evil, so they can't write about it.
That's a good point.
They write in scenes like the Dark Friend Social.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. Whoever posted that, you need to check their hard drive.
They don't know the difference between good and evil. How are they supposed to write good stuff about good and evil? We already talked about that one. This was hilarious. Dark Souls has always been queer.
I need some examples on that. Yep.
I don't want to read further. It's a bad take.
Yeah.
As Star Wars stagnates, Star Trek is flourishing. This is a couple of weeks old. And we never got to it, but this was right after the musical episode.
No, your numbers may have been high on the musical episode because
we were so curious.
Everybody wanted to watch it to see how bad it was.
Oh man,
it's so bad.
Lady Balefire, thanks. You said that in your episode 1 review. Yes, they don't know what good is and evil is. Okay. Yeah. I think that's what you're referring to. I just assumed it was the poignant thing that I said that you were referring to. It was really cool. Oppenheimer is pretty much propaganda.
Oh, gosh.
For the bomb. Because they have the audacity to talk about the morality of it, whether or not it's good or not, because they had that conversation in the movie. It's propaganda.
Yeah.
Because they mirrored conversations that were had in real life, because it's a biopic.
Yep. And they showed
did say those things where that's how they justified making it.
Yeah. And they showed both sides of it.
And they also showed his remorse.
Exactly.
The movie ends with him saying, "I think we messed up." How is that propaganda?
Yep.
I've never seen a good article from the Mary Sue, though. But that's just me. David, did you say you watched The Bear, or was that Jared?
No, I keep seeing commercials for it now that we talked about it.
Watch The Bear. It's so good, okay? But this pisses me off. In season 2, there's a character called Claire. And Vogue published this article saying, "Sorry, but the Bear's Claire is pure male fantasy. Do you want to know why? Because she's nice. She's nice to the main character.
She's nice and she's attractive.
No, she's a supportive girlfriend." And instead she's like a manic pixie dream girl. She's a male. I'm sorry, but if the male fantasy is to have a woman who's nice to you, I think that says a whole lot more about you and the state of femininity in the world than it does about men.
That's pretty pathetic.
Wow. Also, watch The Bear. I freaking love it.
We'll have to see.
Season 1 is pretty good, but season 2 was one of the best things I've ever seen.
It keeps popping up on my feed, so I'll take a look.
And then the rest is just shilling for the Foundation. It's all the changes. It's fixing the trickiest thing about Asimov's books, like them being good and making them not good. Foundation pisses me off. I refuse to watch it. Everyone says it's good. It probably is. It looks well made, for sure. And from what people have said, it is a good show. It is a terrible adaptation.
Yeah.
For one scene alone, the entire purpose of the Foundation books, the message behind it is that individuality means nothing. And that there's a thing called psychohistory, which is science predicting the future based off of historical context. And you can take giant populations and mathematically prove how they will make decisions.
Right.
There's the entire purpose of at least the first book. I haven't gotten further into the series, but the first book is individuals do not matter because they can't make a difference. The main character, Harry Seldon, forces the world into a path where he can control it by eliminating individuality. He forces these people into an apocalypse where there are no choices. And they have to follow his plan to save the world. In season 1 of Foundation, they tell the strong black female character, Harry Seldon believed that one person could make a difference, and you are that person.
Completely opposite of what.
Go to hell. I'm sure it does look good. It looks like a well-made, well-told story. Don't freaking call it Foundation.
Yeah. Bummer.
But the 10 reasons you should be watching Foundation are because it has nothing to do with the books. I don't know. I didn't read this. It's just shit. It's stupid. Go away. And then a new report claims that women don't have enough speaking roles in modern Hollywood. It's a bad take. It's an old one. That was supposed to be like 3 weeks ago. Anyway, those are bad takes. That's been the show. This has been me complaining about Wheel of Time and also a little bit about Foundation and me not caring about Ahsoka. And some people are still watching it for reasons. Next week, we should have more people on the show.
Let's hope so.
I definitely want to get Salty Traveling on sometime. But I'm going to reach out to White Cloaks and see who wants to come on. I've just been so busy, and I know that everyone else was busy talking about 3 episodes of Wheel of Time. I didn't have time, and I didn't want to worry about it. But next week, we'll try and have some guests.
All right.
Foundation is awesome.
The books.
I have book 2 like queued up in my library, and I just haven't gotten to it yet because I need to finish reading Jade City, and then I need to read my friend's book 2, because I got an advanced copy. Baby, suck it! I'm a YouTuber. I get privileges.
That was a good interview, by the way.
It was fun. I love them. They're really, really great people.
Yeah, they're nice.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Where'd it go? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll hit you up, Lady Belfar. Your comment like disappeared as I was pulling it up. You've read Second Foundation, which is not the second book. It's like the third or fourth. It's Foundation and Empire, Second Foundation, and then Foundation Rises or something like that. I don't know. There's like 20 of them. Okay?
Mark probably read that one first, though.
He probably did. He probably saw Second Foundation and said, "Oh, this sounds like a good place to start."
We love you, Mark.
Oh, Lady Balefire just scored all of the Foundation books. All of them? Because there's like the first 4, and then there was a break, and then he wrote a whole bunch more. There were like some prequels to There's Prelude to Foundation. They're fun. I like Isaac Asimov. I want to read more of him. It's a very, very fascinating sci-fi.
Yeah. Father of modern science fiction.
Also, the thing that's different from the show and the books is this show like skips time. Like every chapter skips like another like 1,000 years, right? And the characters from the previous chapter are dead, or it's their kid, right? And they're super old. I think there's like one chapter break where like the same character is still alive, doing and being relevant, right? But it just goes through this history, and it's super cool. And then the show decides to just do none of that, and it has the main characters. And Harry Seldon is still alive. They like fake out, kill him, and then put him like transport his consciousness into like a body so that he can still be alive. And you're like, this is not Foundation. Whatever.
Weird.
Wow, I didn't know that. He died from a contaminated blood transfusion. Anyway, there's like 6. I think there's like 8. I think there's more. I think there's more than 6. I'll have to look it up. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week when we talk about more of this garbage. And if people are still watching Ahsoka, I feel bad for them.
I gotta stick it out.
Hopefully, I will have finished 2 more devoid of logic videos, but I have had no time this week. I've gotten some done, but my in-laws leave on Monday. I'll have time Monday night to work. But and I've been sick. Being sick. I was sick 2 weeks ago, and I'm still coughing and sneezing. It's
no good.
I hate it. I was supposed to be recording vocals this whole time. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Love you guys. I love the conversation. Don't love the show, but I like being able to tear it apart for you.
Yep.
Go check out David's channel. He hasn't released a video in a lot longer than I have. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
And now it is time to say goodbye.
We had a great conversation.
It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is...
Right now, this moment, this night.
So I guess we just say goodbye.
So, goodbye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day. But come back next week for more outrageous bloopers.
This is the end.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.